Lions and Brisbane arrive in the West, a place they've not tasted much success at in recent times. They've lost 9 of their past 10 games in WA, and they arrive at a time when they need to arrest a slide. They've lost 3 of their past 4 to slip out of the top 4, and they started this round in 6th position. But beat Fremantle today, they can climb up into 5th. While for the Dockers, they began the week in the 8s. Saw GWS leapfrog them, but they'll be able to reclaim a spot in the top 8 if they can go back-to-back and have a victory over the Lions this afternoon. Great you could join us wherever you're listening here on ABC Radio and ABC Sport Digital. Clint Wilden alongside Ben Cameron. Ben, both sides, well, they're missing their Brownlow medalist. Nat Fyfe not playing, and he won't be out for the rest of the year. And Lachie Neale withdrawn from this Brisbane side very early in the week, but there's still a lot to look forward to today. Welcome.
Yeah, thanks, Clint. Looking forward to it. It is a Brisbane team that needs to improve on what they've delivered over the past month. We know they started the season slowly. They had a really nice period in the middle patch of 2021, and they've just ground to a halt a little bit. They met a Fremantle side that started the round in the 8. They've been moved out of it courtesy of the win from GWS, and Richmond have actually moved above them with their win yesterday. It's a young Freo side that we're waiting to see if they can take the next step. This is the game that they swapped with Brisbane from earlier on in the year, round 8. That game was scheduled to be played here. Instead, it was played in Brisbane due to the lockdown in Perth. Now they get that home game back. Can they hold serve at home against Brisbane?
Brisbane won that game up at the Gabba by 24 points. It actually worked out quite well. No crowds allowed in the West. They could get a crowd up into Brisbane. If the games had stayed as they would have been, neither of these games would have been played in front of a crowd. It is overcast and cool conditions. There is one late change to let you know about as well for the Brisbane Lions. Out of the side, he is the late out, Jack Payne, because of the knee injury that he suffered last week against Hawthorn in the Lions' 12-point loss to the Hawks. They were hoping he'd get up, not to be, and Kadeen Coleman comes in for the Brisbane side. So he is the late inclusion. Tom Berry is the medical sub. No late change for Fremantle. Brett Bewley, the medical sub for the Dockers. Our experts, AFLW Fremantle captain in Cara Antonio, Brownlow medalist in Shane Woden. How do you see this panning out today?
Well, Ben, Clint, listeners, thanks for having us. Yeah, it's a really important game for both clubs today. Obviously, Fremantle want to get back into the 8, and Brisbane, as we've already mentioned, have been pretty disappointing over the last 4 weeks. They build their game on pressure, and last week it just wasn't there. They need someone to step up, and they probably need a collective of players to step up. With Neale out, obviously Hipwood up forward, they've really missed him over the last 4 weeks. But for me today, the game will be built on pressure, and I think definitely it would have been a theme throughout the week for the Brisbane Lions to start really strong. They were poor last week early against the Hawks. On the flip side, Fremantle wasn't the greatest of games to watch last week against Richmond. A really inaccurate game from both sides. And for me today, Fremantle, the theme for them this year has been the inaccuracy in front of goal, not making the most of their opportunities in their inside 50s. So I really want to see the young Fremantle midfield lift today. They'll be challenged, no doubt, with some of the guns that Brisbane have inside, but to be able to hit the scoreboard early may actually really rattle Brisbane on their home deck. So, yeah, it's going to be an interesting game, Wowie.
It certainly is. And good afternoon, listeners. It's an intriguing battle for me, really. I don't think Brisbane have been great for a month at this stage. I think their offence hasn't been great either. So I think since Eric Hipwood has done his knees, that's about 4 or 5 weeks ago now, their offence has been struggling to be able to move the ball. They're probably a bit more corridor focused, where I thought a little bit early in this season they've been more down the line. So I think they really want to attack the middle. Big out. It's a big out with Payne out. So who takes a Taberner? Is it Starcevic or a Leicester maybe now? So. And from a Fremantle offensive perspective, I think their tools might battle in the contest with Tracy and Taberner up against Harris Andrews Anastasevic, who are very, very good defenders in their own right too. So it's really important that the smalls of Fremantle really get to work today and really cause a few headaches for the Brisbane defence. So it wasn't a great game last week by Fremantle, particularly in the first half, but I thought their second half and their ability to compete and make it a real contest was extraordinary, and they will grow a lot of confidence from that too. So Pearce back in, huge in for Fremantle. I think he'll get the job on Danaher. So if they can nullify Danaher, it'll go a long way in this game and getting them to win. Then, probably Orion takes a Dan McStay too. So it's an even battle, but I think very much contributed with how the midfields go, isn't it, really? So I think Meek and Darcy have got a huge opportunity to combat Oscar McInerney there in the middle of the ground and really go to work in tandem theirs. But the young midfielder of Fremantle on the brigade there, if they can really get on top and back up what they did last week, I think
they were exciting last week, weren't they?
Absolutely. I think they were fantastic. And that's the thing with Fremantle, just the consistency, not just in the game, week in, week out. So if they can drive that area of the game and get some field position early and put some real heat on Brisbane on the home deck, they'll go a long way to win.
Also boast, of course, the rising star from last round, the Fremantle Dockers, in Hayden Young. Hopefully he has another tremendous performance as far as Fremantle's concerned. And they showed real grit last week too, challenged by Richmond. The Tigers hitting the front in that final term before the Dockers, led admirably by Andrew Brayshaw, able to steady and claim those 4 points. AFL.com.au did an interesting look at statistically how the Lions have been in the past month, and it's quite staggering when you look at the differences. Rounds 1 to 16 in points against, the Lions were ranked third best in the comp. Rounds 17 to 20, they're ranked 15th. In scores from turnover differential, they were ranked third between 1 and 16. Between rounds 17 and 20, ranked 15th. In goals per inside 50 against what they conceded, they were ranked third between 1 and 16. They're ranked 16th over the past month of football. Contested possessions, they've dropped from being ranked 5th to being ranked 6th. That's the one change, but it's gone from 4.7 as a differential to 5.5. And uncontested possession differential is interesting too. They were ranked 10th best in the comp, and now they're ranked 16 best after the last month. They're quite telling stats, Ben Cameron.
Toss of the coin has taken place. David Mundy in there for Fremantle. He's won the toss and elected to kick to the Farmer Freeway end in the first term.
Let's head downstairs. Overcast and cool. Will it rain on Bridget Lacey's always the question. G'day, Bridge.
Hello, Clint. Love the boundary lottery down here. It is cloudy, as you mentioned, about 19 degrees. Rain is forecast for later this evening, but we're hoping that will stay away at least until the game is over. Fingers crossed. The starting benches for both teams: for Fremantle, David Mundy, Connor Blakely, Brandon Walker, Joel Weston, and the Medi sub for Fremantle is Brett Bewley. And at Brisbane, it's Callum Archie, Nakai Cockatoo, Jackson Pryor, Reece Matheson, and their Medi sub is Tom Berry.
Which way are we tipping, Cara?
I think the Dockers on the home deck today.
Shane?
Fremantle by a couple.
Benny?
Brisbane just.
You've changed. Brisbane for Ben and Fremantle for me. So we're split upstairs. 3-1 in favour of Fremantle. Players head to their respective positions. Quick update for you. The Bulldogs and the Bombers. 22 minutes gone in the third term. It's the Bombers by 3 points over the Bulldogs. Big game for the Bulldogs at the top of the ladder. This is a huge game for both Fremantle and for Brisbane. For top 8 aspirations for the Dockers, for where the Lions can finish in the top 8. How will it all unfold? Let's find out. Ben Cameron to get us started on Grandstand AFL.
Darcy and McInerney in the middle. Darcy misses it. Zorko comes through. Bursts out with the football. Kicks the Lions into their attacking 50. Bouncing ball here for Danaher. Attacking it Ryan. He's tackled by Danaher. Taken to ground. And we'll get a ball up 40 metres out from the Lions attacking goal. Left forward pocket.
Low to Cameron early. Good matchup.
Umpires House and Margetts and Brown in charge of this. Darcy takes it out of the ruck, gets a kick away, hits Brayshaw, pinballs away, picking it up Henry, gets it out towards Wilson. He tumbles a kick to the wing, coming up Taberner gathers, gets a handball to Tucker. Here go the Dockers down the southern wing. Brayshaw, handball to Croden. Now Croden into trouble. Sidestepping finally gets away from them.
Hand passes inboard, finds Tucker, then to Taberner, kicks inside forward 50. Meek couldn't mark. Tracy gathered, spun, lost his footing, spills down again. Croden sweeps a hand pass forward. Henry tries to get there. Rich is there, got a hand pass away. They'll mop it up under real pressure here, the Lions. They've done pretty well. Starcevic involved. Kick goes beyond defensive 50. Logue's able to mop up for the Dockers. Comes back to Chera. Kicks towards full forward. No mark taken. Big pack up. Zorko had it, got tackled. He's been pinned for holding the ball.
Great forward 50 pressure by Fremantle. On their toes, press forward.
Travis Collier got Zorko right in front of goal. The Lions captain, well, they'd seen off one foray forward. They couldn't do it a second time. Collier shouldn't miss this. From 25 out, he puts it through from right in front. Fremantle with the opening goal, and it comes in the first 2 minutes. They're one straight 6. Brisbane yet to score on Grandstand AFL. Shane Woden and Cara Antonio, our experts.
They went quick off the half-back line initially, Fremantle, and took the game, put speed on the ball. But I just thought, because the game was so quick then, I thought the ability to anticipate turnover and Freo's defence to be able to press the ground, get whipped on it early and own this outside of the ground here with Logue on Cameron to be able to stop the play, have a re-entry, go straight back in and to put the Brisbane defence back in pressure again.
Well, you called it the forward 50 pressure. They're 18th for tackles inside forward 50. Fremantle have started really well and they've got a goal out of it. So hopefully that's the trend for the rest of the game.
And that's what they want to do today, Fremantle, is make Brisbane run and defend. And, well, they executed it well there to start. Back in the middle, the umpire lays it down. Bounce slightly favours McInerney, but hooking it down Darcy. Brayshaw has trouble gathering it. He's tackled quickly by Berry. This is Jared Berry, Tom the sub. And we'll get a secondary ball up close to the attacking edge of the square for Brisbane.
He's putting a bit of work onto Brayshaw as well off the ball, Berry.
Very good last week. Brayshaw, 10 coaches' votes in that win over Richmond. McInerney taps it down. Sarong's kick goes to Robinson. He kicks Brisbane inside 50. He was taken high. It won't be downfield. It'll come back. And he'll get the free kick. Out of contract next season, Mitch Robinson. What do you think, Wowie? Cara, would you give him a new deal? Robinson goes deep towards full forward, looking for a target. McInerney! He drags it in, and the Big O is an imposing figure at full forward. He marks 20 metres out, the slightest of angles to the right-hand side.
Yeah, great play by Brisbane ruckman there. He had to push forward, make Sean Darcy accountable as a defending ruckman. Yeah, not sure. I think he's done enough, Mitch Robinson, to earn another one-year deal. But, you know, it's a fine balance between playing your kids.
McInerney trudges in. Boot to ball, 20 out. He drives it through with authority. Brisbane respond. They're one straight 6. Fremantle also one straight 6. Just over 4 minutes travelled. Opening term, Grandstand AFL. The Brownlow medalist Shane Woden and Fremantle AFLW captain Cara Antonio.
Well, it's going to be a really interesting battle all day between the rucks, and we know that Sean Darcy likes to push forward as well. So, look, yeah, as you mentioned, while he's got to be kept accountable, and we can see he's moving forward now with a bit of a rotation with Meek coming into the ruck. But fantastic, popping it up to your tall ruckman up forward, and he's taken a really strong contested mark and gone back and converted.
He certainly had to get that to ground. Justin will be disappointed with his defence then. And he, again, just had no body contact on him.
And Alex Pearce arriving late on the scene after the mark was taken. Good grab from the Big O. He's back in the centre circles. Up against Meek, who'll do the ruck work now for Fremantle. Meek missed it. McInerney's able to get a hand pass forward. Zorko out after. Gathers, gets away from Brayshaw. He'll kick inside forward 50. Looking to find Bailey. Couldn't get to him. Young's there to mop up for Fremantle. Sends it towards the southern wing. Meek is there. Hands it back to Ace. She'll kick towards right half forward. Good battle here. Andrews has done well. Stuck out the boot. Ricocheted to Brayshaw. Might have been taken high. Hand pass to Tucker. Tackled straight away. Just on the outer edge of the logo. Zorko got him. Ball up will be the decision. 1 goal apiece here. Early stages opening turn.
Meek takes it out of the ruck. Bursts away from them, the big man. Handball a little errant. Robinson onto it. Slick hands to McCluggage. Brisbane go forward. Chips a kick to half forward. McStay comes out and marks on his chest. Right on the attacking edge of the square. 50. Oh, Mitch Croden has run through the protected area. And Dan McStay will be marched to virtually the goal line and will pop through Brisbane's second. He doesn't even waste any time. He pops it through. And Brisbane get their second major. They're 2 straight 12. Fremantle 1 straight 6. Just over 6 minutes gone. Opening term, Shane and Cara.
Coach killer, that one. Just, encroached ever so slightly. He was almost on his way out, but yep, they know the rules, the players now. You can't come into that protected zone, and an easy one for the Lions there.
And there were a few players who did go through the protected area, but it was quick. And then there was a passage of time, a few seconds, and then Croden went through and the umpire said, look, you probably had enough time not to be there.
Usually if you fling your arms out up in the air thinking,
get away with it.
You know, the umpire thinks exactly. But
one of the umpire knew was McStay was a left footer too, and that made it worse.
29 gone in the third term at the Docklands. The Bombers lead the Bulldogs by 12 points. Bounce to restart. Darcy back in the middle. He wins it against McInerney towards the southern side of the ground. Brayshaw did well. Gathered it, got it away to Blakely. Gets a kick towards Chera. Ball coming over his right shoulder. He marked it on the run. Stops for a moment to assess as what's in front of him. Rich stands on the mark. Chera kicks the Dockers into the right forward pocket. Tracy there, good spoil at the front. Umpire has spotted a free kick, has he? No, play on, an advantage. It comes the way of the Dockers. It's down there for Collier, and he snaps his second. So umpire Mark Edson called a free kick. Noticed that the ball had spilled into the right forward pocket, and from hard up against the boundary, Collier snaps truly. And the Dockers level the scores after taking the advantage. 2 straight 12 Brisbane, 2 straight 12 Fremantle, 8 gone in the opening quarter.
I think the small forwards of Fremantle can create havoc and cause a few headaches for the Brisbane defence. And with Schultz, Collier, Croden, just too quick. Their ability, when soon that ball hits the ground, their ability to impact. Taberner was held in the contest by Leicester. Draws the free kick. Mitch Robinson did everything right, intercept that ball, and as a fat side winger. Collier busy early.
Going with the
second.
KB stat line. 2 disposals, 2 goals as Darcy wins the tap down to Chera, quickly tackled.
Back.
Go again. 2 kicks, no handballs. The KB aspect of it. Darcy wins the tap once more. Straight down to his namesake Darcy Tucker, who's slung to ground. And we'll get another ball up. Still inside the 2 centre circles in the middle of the ground. McInerney looking for Berry. Matheson wrenched off it by Mundy. He gives away the free kick. So the free kick will go to Matheson in the middle of the ground. Arcs around. Thumps it long towards full forward. Danaher's down there. So to McStay, no mark. Roved by Darcy, the big ruckman. Socket out of there by Aish. Overrunning it there, Logue. Allowing in Brisbane. Fullerton gets a handball away. Danaher twists, snaps, goals. Brisbane take back the lead. They're 3 straight 18. Fremantle 2 straight 12. A 6-point advantage approaching the 10-minute mark of the first term. Does it qualify as a shootout yet?
Certainly feeling like that, isn't it?
It does. Poor ground ball miss there.
Poor.
Really bad.
Yeah, really poor by Griff Logue there. It was uncontested, wasn't he? Had no pressure on him.
No.
Lucky there, Darcy didn't give away the free kick.
Nutmegged himself too. I think. Oh, not quite. I thought it went through his legs.
Just poor technique to better pick that ball up. Missed tackle by Pearce. They're losing a few contests in D50 at the moment, early Fremantle. Whether it's aerial or ground ball.
One disposal, one goal for Danaher as well. One down by Darcy in the centre, straight to Chera. Kicks quickly inside forward 50. No mark taken. Ball bounces there past Bailey. Gathered by Tucker. Bailey tackles him. Can he get rid of the footy? He can't. Holding the ball.
Give the first option.
Yep.
Free kick will go to the Lions. Bailey with it. And short to Birchall. Full-time Hawthorn premiership player. Moves it on to Pryor. Now comes to McCluggage. Hard up against the boundary at right half back. Back to Pryor. Into trouble. Got away from Chera. Gave it on to McStay. And now it comes to McCluggage, who turns it over. All the max, but down the throat of Hayden Young, who marks it left half back for Fremantle and moves it short. And he's able to find Tucker just beyond his defensive 50. The Lions lead by 6 points. 11 gone in the first.
You roll across half back for Darcy Tucker since coming back into the team. Has it at left half back. Kicks towards Darcy, who goes up. McInerney spoils. Croydon overruns it. He's under pressure from McCluggage rather. And then it's held up and we'll get a ball up on the wing. 3 straight 18 Brisbane. Fremantle 2 straight 12. McInerney misses it.
Free kick.
Kicking it up. There for the Dockers, Sarong. Mundy might have deserved a free kick. Socket to half forward for Brisbane. Fremantle have the numbers. Young puts on the afterburners. Picks it up and runs away from them. Now he's kicked towards the wing. Trying to mark Schultz. He can't quite. Tracy gets involved. So too Leicester. He's tackled to ground for Brisbane. In possession of the ball, and the umpire wants to ball it up. Neutral territory on this northern wing. Brisbane 3 straight. Fremantle 2 straight.
Throwing it off straight away. Darcy palms it down for Fremantle. Set there though for Fortin. Couldn't take it cleanly. Here's Young. Clever again. Good hand pass to Sarong. Unleashes Mundy. Mundy kick inside forward 50. Bounces away off Coleman. A chance here to set up again through Birchall for the Lions. He'll come down the commentary wing, but they turn it over again. Darcy marking off the McCluggage kick. Oh no, free kick.
Yeah, free kick down.
Afters got a little nudge, did he, McCluggage? So that's the reason for McCarthy to have the footy just shy of the commentary wing for Brisbane. Kicks towards right half forward. No mark taken. Down to Lyons. Hand passes over the shoulder. Young's back there once more. Having a terrific game again for Fremantle to Henry. Inside his defensive 50, he takes a bounce and he sends it to Blakely, who marks in the back right pocket.
So the bearded Blakely, been the Medi sub 9 times this year, finally gets to play a full game today. Goes short to Collier, the goal kicker for Fremantle, with their 2 majors at right half back. Wants to switch it. Goes right to full back, and Ryan here for the purple. Moves it to left half back, and Young usually has that lethal left leg. Is in no hurry here. Called to play on. So he'll switch it right back to Logue in the right back pocket. Now they'll try the southern side of the ground. Logue's kick out towards Mundy on the logo. Doing a really good job, Jared Berry, to come across. He spoils it down. And in the end, Archie's happy to carry it over. And we'll get a throw in neutral territory, southern side of the ground. Brisbane leading by a goal, 3 straight to Freo's 2 straight. 14 minutes played.
It's lacked penetration, that kick from Logue to get to Mundy on the other side. They were out too.
3/4 time at the Docklands. The Bombers by 11 over the Bulldogs. Umpire spots a free kick. It's going the way of Brisbane in the ruck contest. Lions will have it. Points in the direction of the attacking 50. Goes on a bit of a run, and from the logo, southern side, puts it deep inside forward 50. Big pack up, no mark taken, holding decision. Brisbane with the free kick. McStay is the player who's been given the free kick. He can have a shot, 45-degree angle to the left of centre, putting boot to ball from about 40 out.
Not sure how they pulled a free kick from that marking contest.
Fremantle fans are in agreement with you, Cara.
Nothing in that one, I wouldn't have thought.
Goodness.
No. McStay, though, won't mind. From 45 out, he puts it across the face. Perhaps a bit of footballing justice. The Lions, they've got it behind. They're 3-1-19. First blot of the copybook today. The Dockers are 2 straight 12, 15 gone in the first.
Love watching Hayden Young kick the football. Comes out of fullback, moves it into the middle of the ground. Meek can't mark it. Lions rose for the Lions. He kicks them back inside 50. Pearce is there. Intercept marks for the Dockers. The man they call Moose. In the left back pocket for Freo. Kicks towards the wing. Taberner and Henry go up. Spoilt by Andrews. Down in front, Sarong. McCluggage on his back. Shovels out a handball. Now Cockatoo. Handball away towards Bailey, who pinpoints Matheson. He marks the kick going the bare 15. Matheson taking it 40 metres out. Very slightly right of centre.
Busy McCluggage early. Just create a bit of damage through the arcs at the moment on his wing. A little bit fortunate with that handball off the ground then, but good lower the eyes by Bailey.
One of the inclusions for Brisbane today, his first game since round 17 when he was the Medi sub. He comes in, boot the ball, 45 out, tugs it left. Behind, Brisbane 3-2-20, Fremantle 2 straight 12. 16 minutes and 20 seconds into the opening term.
Fremantle from the kick in, heading to the left back pocket. They find Wilson, who marks. Goes beyond defensive 50 to Sarong, up for an uncontested grab. Marking about a metre in from the boundary. They're still at left half back. Again has the tape around the forehead. Sarong was wearing that again last week with Richmond. Short to Henry. Stabs it to Mundy. Did well. Hand pass straight to Sarong. It comes to Schultz from the logo commentary side. Spears a pass in towards Tracy. That was beautiful. Taberner wants it deep over the back. He's appealing for it to get going. Tracy didn't spot him. Pauses for a moment. Now we'll send it towards full forward. Lions have got numbers back. Off the hands of Birchall and over for a rush behind. A minor score to Fremantle. Then 2-1-13. Brisbane 3-2-20. 17 gone in the first.
Long point. If you're going to wait that long, you've got to lower your eyes and find a short.
Robinson in the back pocket for the Lions. Tries to bite off a kick towards the wing. Pearce attacks it. Gathers on the bounce for Freo. Handball to Tracy. His handball too hot for Young. Getting involved, Cockatoo for Brisbane. He loses it in a tackle. Umpire circling. Holds his arms to his chest. A ball up. 7 points. Brisbane's advantage. Umpire throws it aloft. Meek slaps it down. Sherra can't gather. Neither can Henry. So Meek goes in and does it himself, the big man. Flicks it out to Henry, to Sarong. Kick partially smothered. Somehow Sherra gathers. Spins out of trouble. Kicks into the pocket. Out in front, Lester leading Tracy to the footy. Takes the mark. Called to play on. Gives it off to Andrews, who kicks the Lions to the wing.
Andrews able to find a teammate leading up hard. It's McStay. But in front of Ryan, he marks it right half back. Slittle on the ground. You can see where the divot was on the turf here. And then McStay turns it over. Sarong marking on the logo. On a run and almost was tackled. Got it away from Bailey though. Was able to find it on towards Walker, who kicks inside forward 50. Couldn't find the target he wanted. Andrews was there. Takes the defensive mark between fullback and centre half back for Brisbane. Then to Rich, and Rich will kick out towards Robinson on the outer wing.
Here's McCluggage swooping a handball away to Cockatoo. A kick short to McStay, to Robinson bursting by from 51. Low inside 50. Finds the former line in Aish in the back pocket, who switches it looking for Tucker. He won't get there. And on the bounce, it goes out of play. A throw in right forward pocket. You can see a clear directive for Fremantle. Run, take the game on, make the Lions run and defend, which was spoken about.
Just didn't set his feet there, Aish.
They are taking it on at every opportunity. Meek to the front. Double palms it down. Mundy applies the tackle. Umpire Margetts wants to ball it up. 40 out from the Lions' goal.
Get their opportunities inside 50 Fremantle.
Meek takes it out of the ruck again. Mundy on the bounce, just hooks it out of there with the right boot. Comes down here for Schultz, and here go Fremantle again, trying to fire that slingshot. Weston, handball out to Tucker. Backfeeds one to Mundy at halfback. Dodgy kick from David Mundy. Out of bounds on the full.
The best, mate.
Well, he was due one after 352 games, wasn't he? A bad kick. 7 points, the Lions' advantage. We've ticked past 20 minutes in the opening term.
Starcevic for the Lions, inside forward 50. Big pack up, spilled down to Danaher. Got a hand pass out. McCluggage hard up against the boundary in the right forward pocket. He centres it to McCarthy. And he marks almost in line with the left hand behind post. That was clever.
Really, really smart kick there. Could see a teammate at the top of the goal square in a better position, and really unselfish from McCluggage there.
27-11 for the season for Lincoln McCarthy. He'll look to snap around on the right. He does so, and he kicks the goal for Brisbane. They've got 4. 4-2-26. Fremantle 2-1-13. 21 gone in the opening term. Grandstand AFL from Perth Stadium. An update at the Docklands. Still the Bombers by 11 points. 6 minutes into the final term.
Well, McCluggage, you mentioned it before, well, he's been really impressive. He's had his hands on the footy, and again, I think he's had 8 for the quarter. He sets Brisbane up for their 4th goal, and just a really selfless team act there, centering the ball. He probably could have had a shot, but again, you go with the percentages, and to hit up a teammate in McCarthy, fantastic goal for the Lions.
Link McCarthy, 29 games in 7 years at Geelong, 60 and 3 at Brisbane. Not even 3 yet. Likes the warmer climate up there in Queensland.
And the sun's shining, 26 degrees on a...
Bit easier to do your recovery than
absolutely.
Down at Bells Beach. Umpire lays it down. Neither ruck with a decisive tap. So wrong. Handball to Chera. Fremantle go to half forward on his kick. Coming out. Pry gets a hand to it. Coleman there to mop up for the Lions. Gives a handball back to Starcevic, who kicks to the wing. And Cameron marks. The Lions leading by 13 points. 22 minutes into the first. Charlie Cameron, the jumper tucked in, and the moustache. Kicks towards half forward in the Danaher direction. He goes up early. Pearce spoils it down. Staying down Archie. Snaps into the pocket. Bouncing ball. Look away. Handball from McInerney. Bailey cruising by. He snaps on goal. Tries the little dribbling Dacos. He's a star on the rise, but he's not quite Dacos yet from the pocket. He misses across the face. 14 points. Brisbane's advantage. 4-3 plays 2-1.
Bulldogs have hit back. The Bombers' lead is now just 5 points. 8 gone in the final term at the Docklands. As Wilson with the kick in finds Croden, who marks. He's at left half back. Boots will cross with a 50s painted on the ground. Coming towards Taberner. Got away from his opponent in Leicester. He marks on centre wing, commentary side. He'll move Fremantle short to Blakely. There's the lean down, and he marks as well. Still on centre wing. Fremantle forced to pause for a moment here. Blakely sees an option short, very short. Kicks it towards Aish, back to Blakely. Gets a kick inside the attacking 50. Good grab. Up and marking Coleman. The late inclusion. Was able to bring it down and gave it to Birchall, and now to Rich for the Lions, and he'll find Berry. And Jared Berry marks at centre half back for Brisbane. The Lions lead by 14 points, 23 gone in the first.
Gives it off to Birchall, who kicks forward of the wing, and Coleman's run on. He started all of this with his mark. Chips to half forward. McCarthy comes out and marks on his chest. 55 from home. Shanks his kick. Doesn't matter. 50. Oh, Weston was in the protected area, I think, on this occasion. That's all I can put it down to. And Longmuir puts his head in his hands. And well he may. Lincoln McCarthy will kick his second, you would think.
It's Pearce, wasn't it?
It was Alex Pearce.
That's just brain phase by Fremantle at the moment.
McCarthy comes in, pops it through. 2 50-metre penalties in this first term have led to lay down misère goals for the Brisbane Lions. They're 5-3-33. Fremantle 2-1-13, 24 and a half minutes into this opening term. McCarthy's second.
Look, it's just heads not in the game at all. And that's twice. It's been 5 seconds before he's come actually into the area. Then, you know.
Is that what you're thinking when you're a coach?
Oh,
Shane, are you in the box saying, we're just not on today?
That's on that moment, absolutely heads not in the game, not being in the moment.
He stayed in the same lane as well. He didn't even move out of the way. No. And he looked back at the kicker. Yeah, massive brain fade there.
Yeah, frustrating for Justin, the Fremantle group. Just giving easy goals at the moment, you know.
Brisbane have kicked the pass 3 from the bounce. Darcy's able to win it and gathered it himself. Hand passed in front of Mundy. Couldn't take it cleanly first time. Coming the other way, Rich. Bumped into Mundy, who looked a little bit sore. Got a hand pass away to the Lions to Zorko, the skipper. Kick towards centre half forward. Taken by Bailey. Short pass, but beautiful. Danaher leading out, he marks.
Just again, poor handball. You know, under no pressure, handball hits the deck. At AFL level, just not good enough. Dave Mundy gets that, kicks that from 50. Not a problem.
So the turnover by Fremantle across their half forward sees Danaher with a chance right in front of goal. Danaher from 45 outs. Not with this. He's put it to the left-hand side. 5-4-34 Brisbane. 2-1-13 the Dockers. 26 gone in the first. Grandstand AFL from Perth Stadium. Clint Wilden, Ben Cameron, Cara Antonio and Shane Woden.
Had Dana Hooker with us yesterday, who told a good story as a long kick from Ryan goes to the wing. Fremantle fans thought there was a free kick for Tracy. Nothing doing. Zorko tries to soccer it off the deck. Coming through Brayshaw. Zorko picks it up though. Kicks the lines back inside 50. Cameron launches at the football and takes the mark. 45 metres out, 5 metres in from the boundary line. It'd be a tough kick, but he's mercurial, Charlie Cameron, we know that. Does he set it up or does he go for home? What do you think?
He'll have a shot, I think.
Spinning the ball like he will. Comes in, 49 out. Sends it on goal. It'll land in the goal square. No mark taken. Darcy gets a handball away to Pearce for the Dockers. Chera bumped off his kick. Shanks it. McCluggage picks it up there for the Lions. Gives it off to Cockatoo. Wants to go with the check side. Doesn't work. Floats it towards full forward. Robinson brings it down. Zorko attacking the footy. Bursts onto it. Gives it back to Cameron. Snaps around the corner. Ryan's in the goal square. He marks at fullback for Freo.
Moves it short for the Dockers. And just enough to be a mark to Wilson. Shot back. Runs to his goal square and then got bumped over. Oh, disaster for Fremantle. It's there for Bailey. He gathers and kicks the goal. Oh, goodness me. They are falling apart. Wilson dispossessed. Bailey got him. And he's remained down here, Wilson. And Bailey just had to pick it up and from the goal square put it through. Bridget Lacey's on the boundary.
Yeah, he started clutching at his right ankle straight away, Nathan Wilson, after that incident, but it might be one of those embarrassment situations. He's staying out there for now.
So he took a couple of steps, looked to move it on too slow. Bailey, with the hip and shoulder, gathered, kicked the goal and let Wilson know all about it as well. 6-4-40 Brisbane, 2-1-13 the Dockers, 28 gone in the first. They're imploding Fremantle.
Well, that's just pressure, isn't it? And that's what they build their game on, but what's Wilson thinking?
Again,
Head not in the game.
Head not in the game.
Yeah.
Like, you're in D50 in the goal square. Guys 5 minutes away from your mark and you're just waltzing off the mark.
They are nowhere today.
Yep.
Fremantle right now, are they?
Tom and forward half, they're dominating Brisbane at the moment.
Back in the middle, Darcy trying to pick it up off the deck. Mundy's trying to lift them. Brayshaw always tries. He picks it up here, takes a bounce. He'll drive Freo to full forward. Down there, trying to mark Henry. Over the back it goes. Bouncing ball towards the goal square. Picking up Andrews. Gives it away to Pryor, who snaps across his body. Chera's underneath it. He marks 45 out. Centres it to Sarong. And Sarong's claimed it. 40 metres from goal. The mark will be set. Slight angle left-hand side.
Needed Taberner to lead up at the foot there on that other forward entry from Brayshaw, but Henry almost ran in his way and it ended up being a contested ball kind of situation. Really smart from Chera just to lower the eyes and get it in quickly and hit up Sarong.
Caleb Sarong kicked 2 goals against Brisbane back in round 8. He won't be kicking a goal here. It slews off the side of his boot out to the right. Won't even be a score. It'll be a free kick to Brisbane on the goal line. So 27 points Brisbane's advantage approaching quarter time.
Andrews takes 2 steps and goes beyond defensive 50. Stretching for it, Darcy couldn't mark. Mundy was there, got a hand pass to Tucker. Hand pass straight into traffic. Allows Berry to take it. Brayshaw tries to steal it away. Berry on hands and knees couldn't gather. Mundy could. Picked it up off the deck from right half forward. Kick towards right full forward. Taberner underneath it. Punched away from him and then taken over the boundary line for a throw-in. Schultz continued to apply the pressure. Good work from him. There'll be a throw-in. Now, let's say 20 out from Fremantle's attacking goal. Kicking to the Graham Farmer Freeway ends in this opening term. Put back in. Beautifully won down by McInerney to Zorko. Kicks the lines towards the southern wing. It'll bounce over the line and it'll be a throw-in. There were players in the area. Brisbane lead by 27. 31 gone in the opening term.
Darcy and McInerney lock up. Free kick. It'll go Fremantle's way. Sarong takes the advantage, kicks inside 50, Schultz over the back, arriving late. He read it better than the defenders from Brisbane in front of him. And he marks low down, 35 metres out directly in front. And don't Fremantle need this right on the stroke of quarter time?
They certainly do.
Two goals last week for Lockie Schultz.
I just tell him to make sure he runs straight. I think that's a given.
Schultz comes in, boots the ball from 40 out, kicks it into the man on the mark. And Shane Woden, we might add that to the list of signs that your head's just not quite in the game. Fremantle with a quarter of brain fades. Brisbane dominating time in forward half. 6-4-40 the Lions. They lead the Dockers 2-1-13 at quarter time.
So for the Lions, McCarthy with a couple and then singles to Danaher, McStay, Bailey and McInerney. Fremantle's 2 goals, both coming off the boot of Travis Collier. They've kicked the past 4 goals in the game, Brisbane, and so many of them, as we heard, just from absolute brain fades from the Fremantle Dockers, turning the ball over, getting caught in possession. Goodness me, not what the faithful here at Perth Stadium would have been hoping for at all. Quarter time, Brisbane 6-4-40, Fremantle 2-1-13. Wherever you're listening on our ABC Radio and ABC Sport Digital, this is Grandstand AFL.
ABC Sport on Social is your sports conversation on the go. Video, player insight and analysis. This is the content you never knew you needed. Get ABC Sport wherever you scroll.
Step back to the 80s.
Standby control room.
Good evening and welcome to News at 6.
The world is changing.
And Mikhail Gorbachev.
Second explosion here on Russell Street.
TV news is changing.
60 Minutes are sending female reporters to war zone.
You're a war zone on 2 legs.
For a star newsreader and promising young reporter,
You know you're incredible.
it's a roller coaster ride.
Please don't tell anyone. Here we go again.
The Newsreader
Bloody magic.
premieres this Sunday on ABC TV and streaming on iView.
The 2021 AFL Premiership season on ABC Radio and on ABC Sport Digital.
Shearer kicks towards full forward. No mark taken. Big pack up. Zorko had it, got tackled. He's been pinged for holding the ball. Collier shouldn't miss this. From 25 out, he puts it through from right in front. Fremantle with the opening goal, and it comes in the first 2 minutes.
Robinson goes deep towards full forward, looking for a target. McInerney! He drags it in. McInerney trudges in. Boot the ball 20 out. He drives it through with authority. Brisbane respond.
Shearer kicks the Dockers into the right forward pocket. Tracy there, good spoil at the front. Umpire has spotted a free kick, has he? No, play on, an advantage. It comes the way of the Dockers. It's down there for Collier, and he snaps his second. And the Dockers level the scores.
Roped by Darcy, the big ruckman. Sock it out of there by Aish. Oh, overrunning it there, low. Allowing in Brisbane. Fullerton gets a handball away. Danaher twists, snaps, goals. Brisbane take back the lead.
Just enough to be a mark to Wilson. Shot back. Runs to his goal square. And he got bumped over. Oh, disaster for Fremantle. It's there for Bailey. He gathers and kicks the goal. Oh, goodness me. They are falling apart.
The 2021 AFL Premiership season on ABC Radio and on ABC Sport Digital.
Puzzling quarter if you're a Fremantle supporter, the number of times that they cost themselves goals by their decision making and just plain being asleep. If you're a Lions fan, you'd be delighted. 6-4-40 to 2-1-13. The other score to bring you up to date with: the Western Bulldogs are in a bit of strife time on in the final term at the Docklands. The Bombers are up by 24, 15-5-95 to the Bulldogs, 10-11-71. Earlier today, the Hawks by 19 over Collingwood. What's going on here at Perth Stadium? Make sense of us. Shane Woden, Kari Antonio.
Wow. Interesting first quarter, wasn't it? Fremantle, poor skill and bit of discipline. Really, to sum it all up in a couple of things. I think statistically it's an even game if you look at it from a numbers point of view, but as an eye sees it out there, I think time and forward half, Brisbane certainly dominated there, unable to capitalise on some things, but some discipline, 250s, Wilson in the goal square. So they kicked 4 from their front half, Brisbane to date, but you would say they'd be dominating the game at the moment.
Oh, they are. They definitely are. The pressure's been good, and again, it's probably a focus for them. You know, the last month they've been poor in that area, and they build their game around pressure. But the thing, Brisbane have controlled most of the game. The thing for me, they've set up really well defensively. Fremantle haven't been able to play that quick ball movement that we saw earlier in the quarter, so they've stopped that ability for Fremantle to get it inside forward 50. In saying that, though, Fremantle have had 12 inside 50s, and the damaging thing, and I mentioned this at the start, the efficiency inside forward 50, 33%. You've got too many forwards leading back towards goal and not leading up towards the ball kicker. So from a midfielder's point of view, they're kicking it in long and deep where the forwards want. There's no contest, there's no one at the fall of the ball, because they're all on different pages. So when Brisbane are going inside, you know, they've gone inside 14 times and they've been able to have 12 shots on goal. It's been the difference, and the intercepts, the turnovers that Brisbane have been able to create and generate score from has been a massive difference for me, and something that Chris Fagan will be really happy with.
Let's get some of the numbers. Ben Cameron, what do they tell us?
So overall, Fremantle have had a little more of the ball, 90-83. The inside 50s, 14-12 the way of Brisbane. The marks inside 50, 5-3. Contested possessions are actually even. The clearances, Fremantle lead 10-8. Leading ball winners on the ground, Caleb Sarong with 11 disposals, Young 7, Chera 7, and McCluggage 9 for Brisbane. Bridget Lacey downstairs.
Yeah, just confirming Nathan Wilson was holding that right ankle after that error in the goal square, but he's starting this next term out there after the doc had a quick look at quarter time. He looks fine.
So no injury to the insult for Nathan Wilson. We're underway. McInerney bounced off his back. Darcy was able to turn. Gather got a hand pass, but Brayshaw's eventually able to gather. Bounced away from him for a second. He scooped it up with the right hand. Kicks deep inside forward 50. Good Mark Andrews.
Have a tough day tapping it on Harris Andrews.
He was tremendous to Birchall to McCluggage. He has it in the left back pocket. He'll switch play. Back to Andrews in the right back pocket again. Elite with one-on-ones and spoils for intercept marks. Outstanding as the line's going to be on defensive 50. At right half back, Mundy's able to gather for the Dockers. Gave it to Wilson. Tackled immediately. Wrapped up by Zorko. No prior umpires lurk. They'll ball it up. Inside the left forward pocket for the Fremantle Dockers, who desperately need the opening goal of the second term. They trail by 27 points. 54 seconds gone.
Up it goes. Slapping it down McInerney. Getting involved at ground level lines. Knocks it out to Zorko, who kicks towards the wing. Free kick, it'll go the way of the Lions. Fremantle fans feeling very aggrieved at the moment. Like they're not getting the whistle.
Didn't need to do it.
So Matheson just backward of the wing. Kicks around the southern side of the ground, trying to get it to McInerney. There's a free kick. We'll go to McStay. McStay moves it on quickly. Gives it off towards Lyons, who goes short to Danaher. Marks 60 from home. Wheels onto the left, as is his wont. Towards full forward. McCluggage is down there. Henry does well to halve the contest. Brings it to ground for Freo. Handball from Chera misses Henry. Now Bailey's there for the Lions. He paddles towards the boundary. Sees it out. 4:50 stoppage for Brisbane. They lead by 27 points, 2 minutes into the second term Grandstand AFL.
Ball spun back into play. Darcy won it down. Straight into traffic though. It was into the hands of Lyons. Tackled immediately by Chera. Ball up again. Throwing aloft. Darcy with the fingertips. Mundy couldn't take it. Went down to Henry. Tackled by McStay. Was he taken high? No, according to umpire Margetts. Held into him. Another ball up inside the Lions forward 50. Once more Darcy won it down. Mundy got it. Got his hands free. The Chera tackled straight away. Maybe into his back. No. Interesting. Able to just turn enough, Zorko, as he tackled Chera. Ball up again. Here we are once more. Darcy palmed it down to Mundy again. Might have been taken high by Berry. No, we'll ball it up once more. Ben Cameron, let's see if you can do something with this. Been a touch of deja vu over and over again.
Don't worry, I'll get the clearance as Darcy takes it out of the ruck. It's a handball out to Mundy. Then Stockers in their back pocket, under pressure too. Young over the boundary line and we'll get a throw in.
It's very good by Brisbane. Repeat stoppage, tackle pressure, keep it in there, giving your backs a rest.
How you score in the modern game, isn't it, Bowie?
Lock in your front half. Don't have to score from the first one.
Darcy palms it straight to Brayshaw, who's taken high. And the Fremantle fans let you know what they think of the whistle they've been receiving today.
It's 11-3 at the moment on the free kick count.
Brayshaw goes back to the defensive goal square and Ryan, whose kick's dodgy to Young, picks it up on the half volley and then kicks quickly out to Pearce at left half back. So Pearce chips it short to Tucker on the lead. He's dealt with and won't get the 50. The mark just adjusted back slightly. Still 27 points for the Lions early in the second. Tucker kicks around the southern wing. Meek comes up and attacks the footy. Rich Rose for Brisbane. Handball back to Birchall. Handball to McStay. Handball to Jared Berry. The kicks towards the northern wing. Bouncing ball for Charlie Cameron. Has a little fumble. Now he has time to gather. Stabs it infield and gets it back to Jared Berry.
And Berry by hand. They move it on to McCluggage. Gets a kick towards half forward. Good mark defensively. Darcy back there for the Dockers. Puts it out to the logo. Southern wing. Brayshaw gathers the football. Got 2 lines to beat. Runs away from Pryor. Got a hand pass to Wilson on the run. Takes a bounce. Kicks long. It'll go inside forward 50 in the direction of Taberner. Spoil at the back. McInerney won it down. Spilled to Andrews, to Birchall. Might have been throwing the football. The hand pass is okay according to the officials. Picked up by Leicester. Short to Birchall again. He marks in the right back pocket. The Lions still lead by 27. 5 gone in the second turn.
Oh, my goodness. Had he not picked that up, Fremantle faithful have...
They might riot soon here at Perth Stadium.
Definitely incorrect disposal a moment ago. No doubt.
Rich goes laterally to Pryor, who takes the mark and then kicks to fullback. And Andrews is able to mark. Gives it off to Rich. The man who sets up so many of their attacking forays chips it to Cameron. Has his legs taken out by a falling Schultz. He completes the mark at left half back. So Charlie Cameron, who played waffle football here in WA, chips it back to Rich at fullback. The Dockers zone and press working well as Rich spreads it to Andrews, who sends it to the southern wing, trying to get it to Berry. Sticks up one hand, can't take the mark. And now Tucker's onto the football for the Dockers on the wing.
Gives it to Brayshaw, got away from his opponent, did really well. Kicks Fremantle inside 40. Taberner attacked the footy, had 2 bites at it, grabs it the second time. He takes the mark in the left forward pocket. He'll put boot to ball from 40 outs. It's a 45-degree angle to the left.
Starting to get moving now, Brayshaw. He's working the phone box then, was terrific, wasn't it?
It was. His ability to just turn his opponent inside out, and that's a much better kick inside forward 50. It probably, I don't know, Meek was one-on-one and Taberner had lost his opponent, but at least he was leading up to the ball and created that separation, which he hasn't been able to do with Andrews.
Freo desperately need a goal. Taberner's kick delivers. Never looked like missing. It ends a run of 4 unanswered majors via the Lions. Fremantle at last have their third. They're 3-1-19. Brisbane 6-4-40. The Lions lead cut to 21 points at the 7-minute mark of the second. Half an hour gone at the Docklands. The Bombers lead us 13 points. That's in the final term, 15-7-97. The Bulldogs 12-12-84.
They have to claw their way back into this contest. Contest by contest. Just by doing the little things better. Be in the moment. Good finish by Taberner.
Becomes so reliable, Matt Taberner, for a guy who was very maligned to his first.
Yep.
Well, just overall.
Goal kicking.
Yeah, just period. Prone to a moment or two. Now become very consistent. Crooked bounce from Margetts. Lets them play. Favours Brisbane as Zorko comes up and wins it at half forward. Now he changes his mind as he goes to kick. Drops the ball. McInerney sweeps a handball inside 50. Coming out Fullerton. There's Cockatoo. Handball away to McInerney. Kick smothered. Ricochets away. Aish applies the tackle there on Zorko. Sarong goes in. Wilson goes in. Big bump coming from Cameron. Wilson can't get rid of it. Sarong wants to go on with it with Zorko, but decides to get into position for the stoppage. 40 out from goal instead. 40 out from the Lions goal, that is. As Darcy knocks it down. Brayshaw extracts it. Can't get a kick away. Comes out towards Chera. Now spills out for Fullerton. Sweeps a handball quickly towards Bailey. Snaps into the pocket. Bouncing ball. Dockers have the numbers. Blakely's there. He's tackled by McStay. Ball jars free. Comes out to Cockatoo. Snaps the goal. An opportunistic goal from the Lions and Nakai Cockatoo. On the back of the pressure from McStay. He applied the pressure with the tackle. The ball spilled free. Cockatoo gets the goal. And just like that, Brisbane respond back out to 27 points. 7-4-46. Plays 3-1-19. 9 minutes into the second.
Their backs were gatekeeping then. Fremantle look vulnerable on the ground in D50, don't they?
They do.
Narrow, just great work by Dan McStay just to keep applying pressure. Then the cavalry arrives. There's no point sitting in the goal square.
They had an outnumber there for a period of time that they just needed to work together, didn't they?
They laid 13 tackles for the game, Fremantle.
Essendon have jumped to 9th.
Wow.
With a win over the Western Bulldogs by 13 points, which means Melbourne can go top if they win tomorrow. And the bounce, they're going to bring it back. It was a very ugly one.
Surprising result, that one.
Big win.
Huge win. Means Fremantle have now dropped down to 11th on the live ladder as Darcy won it down. Chera stole it away from Bailey. Hand pass meant for Brayshaw down low. Brayshaw did well to try to gather. Punched it back for Chera on his knees. Went out towards Tucker. Got belted over by Robinson without the footy.
That's what he brings, doesn't it? His physicality.
I don't mind giving that, though. I don't mind.
Absolutely.
The perceived pressure that they've built over the start of this quarter has been fantastic.
Gave away the free kick across half back, so it's done his team not much damage. Tucker would know all about it as Lowe kicks towards right half forward, offhand, spills down to Bailey of the Lions. Hand pass meant for Rich, couldn't gather. Croden got in front, but a hand pass through traffic. It came again to Darcy. Now to Taberner at centre half forward, puts it out for Collier to lead out and mark with the 50s painted on the ground at left half forward. He has 2 today. This will test him from this distance.
Take Pryor on.
Travis Collier. Will he go all the way? He will go looking for goal. He misses to the left-hand side. Behind a score. 3-2-20 the Dockers, 7-4-46 the Lions, 11 gone in the second term. Grandstand AFL repeating the Bombers by 13 points over the Bulldogs.
Rich, short to Jared Berry, receives the handball back, Rich, and then goes long towards the wing. Young goes up and intercept marks for the Dockers. Quickly kicks, poor kick, turns it over. And Jared Berry is able to mark defensive edge of the square here for the Lions. He's trying to find Sarong Young with that kick. Couldn't do so. Now Berry's kick sets a task for Robinson, but he's up to it.
It was the right decision, just poorly executed. It's unlike Young, he's very good by foot.
And that's what they want him to do, isn't it?
Absolutely, be brave with the ball.
Brisbane chipping it around at left half back, and ball in the hands of Rich, who's damaging by foot. Just goes for distance on this occasion. Kicks around the northern wing. McInerney in front. Has a lot of it. Doesn't complete the mark. Now Zorko at ground level. Jams it on the boot. Kicks inside, attacking 50 for the Lions. Logue puts a fist through it. Ball jars free. Comes out to Cockatoo. Little dribbler to Cameron. Handball to McCarthy. Dribbles it on goal. Getting a hand to it. Blakely on the last line. Well, the fat side winger getting back. Yep. He's able to touch it and save a goal.
It's good defence. Playing your role.
27 points, the Lions advantage, 12.5 into the second.
And much better from Fremantle. Are alert to that as Ryan goes short. He's able to find Brayshaw, who marks, still in his defensive 50. Had the run on from Logue if he wanted it. Decides to go himself and kicks towards centre wing. Commentary side, 2-on-2 battle. Darcy got two hands on it. Couldn't quite take the mark. It spills to ground. Ball's been locked in here. That'll be holding the ball against Andrews, who made no effort to get rid of it. Taberner over the top of him. Andrews, I think, saying he might have copped one a little bit high and all that, but he certainly didn't make an effort to get rid of the football. Taberner trots backwards, hence the groan from the Fremantle fans. He'll then move to the logo. Commentary side, kick towards right half forward. No mark taken. Down to Tracy comes with Fremantle. Sarong, Mundy. Oh, Henry run down by Andrews. Great response. Ball jars free. Still there to be won. Mundy tries to pick it up. Tackled by Bailey. They wrestle. Umpire says, I'll ball this one up. 27 points is the lead of the Lions. It's across half forward for Fremantle.
Darcy slaps it down. Blakely onto the football. Handball back to Darcy. He got one in the back. Connor Blakely, it'll come back. He'll get a free kick. Mark set. Attacking edge of the square for Fremantle. Ryan just slinks around the back. Blakely ignores that. Sets it up. Chips a kick towards full forward. Taberner can't mark. Comes down in front. Fullerton there for the Lions. Handball to Lester. Handball to Bailey. And now in the back pocket, a good kick coming from Starcevic to Cameron, who kicks out towards the wing. And Walker comes across to intercept for the Dockers. Takes the mark on the southern wing. 27 points the Lions lead. 14 minutes played here in this second term.
So Walker will put it back inside the attacking 50 for Fremantle. The punch came away from Berry. Spills out in the direction of Archie. Quick hands through the middle through Pryor, then Danaher, now Robinson for the Lions. He'll kick towards centre wing, stretching, marking, well done. Pryor at full stretch.
That's working for the kicker. Very good by Pryor. Well-weighted kick.
Son of Michael, former Bomber and Eagle. Coming through the West Perth ranks, he kicks to left half forward. He's able to find a teammate in McCarthy. And McCarthy marks for Brisbane, 60 out from goal. Not a great kick into the left forward pocket. Walker will track the ball back, he gathers. Has Pearce with him, also Ryan. The hand pass is to Ryan. In the right back pocket, he kicks beyond defensive 50. Up and unable to mark was Taberner. Ball ricocheted towards Brayshaw. Tried to get a hand pass away. Intercepted by Birchall. And Brayshaw continues to follow up, but he gives away a free kick. High against Berry, who then shoves him afterwards. Doesn't get a reversal on that. So it'll be a free kick to be taken by Brisbane. Just shy of left half forward. It's in the hands of Jared Berry.
Shoved him in the face there, Berry. That could have easily been a reversal. Jared Berry will kick to full forward for the Lions. Big pack forms. No mark taken, or was it? Meek thought he might have. Umpire says no. And we'll get a ball up. 20 out from the attacking goal for the Lions. 27 points their advantage. Meek hooking it down towards Blakely. Matheson shovels out a handball. Bailey trying to slither free. Does. Gets it off to Zorko. Snaps and goals. And he loves it. A big celebration from Dane Zorko, the Lions skipper. He sprints to the bench as well. And they're out by 33 points. 8-5-53 plays 3-2-20. 17 minutes into the second term. Grandstand AFL.
Two missed tackles there defensively for Fremantle. Mundy and Blakey just poor. But Zorko's a Bailey's ability to get out of those tackles and then the quick hands, and that's what he does best. Dane Zorko around goal, quick snap.
And Mundy be filthy with himself.
You could see him slapping his hands together after he'd missed that one as well.
Been good, Zorko. Been lively. Again, they look vulnerable in defensive 50.
Out of contract as well at the end of this year. Dane Zorko, 32. Out of contract.
4-time best and fairest winner for the Lions.
It's a great story.
Meek.
Zorko, the Broadbeach boy.
Won it down. Mundy is able to get it away. Gives it to Chera. Kicks inside forward 50. Turns it over. Up and marking Starcevic. I remember him playing for Queensland down at Peel Thunder at Rushden Park against WA, Dane Zorko.
Dominated that day, didn't he?
He was outstanding that day.
It's a game that got him drafted.
Really hard to ignore that sort of form, and he's certainly gone on with it from there. As McCluggage kicks beyond defensive 50 from the right half-back position towards outer wing, and then it's going to be a mark paid, and I reckon it was the right one too to Meek. Got hands to it first despite the traffic around him.
Just say 4 Merritt Murray medals later.
It's Merritt across, Merritt. Meek across half forward for the Dockers. Taken there by Sarong. Might have been taken high. He was. Went back by hand to Mundy, but they've thought the better of it. The free kick will be taken by Sarong. Sarong will go on a short run. He'll kick towards full forward for Fremantle. Big pack up. Spoil came down from Leicester, trying to gather Schultz. His hand pass missed its targeting Tucker. Fulton's able to gather. Gave it to Lyons, and hand passes on to McCluggage at right half back.
McCluggage kicks towards the wing. Young able to bring it to ground. They coming through. Pryor knocks it out towards Bailey, who streams away with it for Brisbane. Kicks inside 50. Getting back low. Does well. One-on-one with Cameron. He takes the mark, running back with the flight. And then Lowe goes short for the Dockers.
He's winning that battle at the moment, I think, Lowe v Cameron.
It's a very good matchup for him, isn't he?
Yep.
Moves it to Ryan, who moves it to Sarong, who kicks to left half back and Pearce. He kicks to Young, who goes for a little run around the southern wing, then chips it short. Low down Schultz dives and marks for the purple. Brisbane by 33 points. Schultz pulls the trigger on a pass towards Taberner. It doesn't quite get there on the bounce. Taberner's bumped out. Starcevic coming the other way. Not a man you want to run into. The well-built Brandon Starcevic gets a free kick. Taberner chips it into the pocket. And the mark taken by Henry 40 metres out close to the boundary.
Just Fremantle need a bit more movement from their forwards ahead of the ball. That's been countless amount of times going inside forward 50, and you've seen the ball carrier just have to go long. And the forwards have had to create a contest.
So Henry trudges in, really tight angle from 40 out. Sets it up across the face, and Andrews with those Inspector Gadget arms goes up above the pack and kills it through for a minor score. Just looking at the replay of Starcevic and Taberner, anything to worry about there for Brandon Starcevic?
No, all eyes for the footy, I would have thought.
Birchall, a bit of a run beyond defensive 50 for the Lions. Big O. McInerney, strong. Had the height advantage, but made the most of it.
Considering Selwood probably got off the other one, I think he'd be fine.
Yes, that's a very valid point. As McInerney kicked towards left half forward, stretching Meek, couldn't mark. Spilled down towards Berry, got a hand pass out. Went on to McCluggage. Mundy got in the way. Gave it to Young, now to Wilson. Kicks to right half forward. Unable to mark it was Darcy. Had another go at it. Got a hand pass to Chera. Sweeps the hand pass across half forward. Missed Sarong. Matheson's there. Gathered under pressure. Got it back to Fulton. That was calmly done. Fulton kicks towards the southern wing. Archie onto it. He breaks the attempted tackle of Tucker. Archie from right half forward goes looking for McCarthy and finds him at right full forward. He's about a metre from the boundary. It's a tight angle, but he's no more than 20 out.
Just poor handball, wasn't it? By Chera, missed Sarong. Turnover. Get bounced from your back half really easily off that.
We saw an errant hand pass across half forward for the Dockers. Cost them a goal in the first quarter. We might see the same again here. Lincoln McCarthy has 2 goals already. This won't be one. He couldn't get it to turn enough. Sees it across the face missing to the left-hand side, a minor score. 8-6-50 for the Lions, 3-3-21 the Dockers, 21 gone in the second.
Young kicks towards the wing, trying to get it to Brayshaw. Pryor comes across, does well, and spoils it out. Jackson Pryor, as Clint mentioned, the son of Michael, who was a Don and an Eagle, but a long-time assistant at Fremantle, so would know a lot of these players well, you would think. From the throw-in, Meek slaps it down. Lions there for Brisbane, gets a handball out towards Fullerton. He's tackled to ground by Young in a long head battle. And the umpire to put it aloft quickly. Left half forward here for Brisbane. McInerney slapping it with the left hand. Meek bending over to pick it up. He's tackled by McCluggage. And we'll go again. 33 points, Brisbane's lead. Umpire underhands it up into the air. Mundy just knocks down Matheson and gives away a free kick for high contact. And Matheson for Brisbane. Kicks to about 15 metres out. Danaher's down there. Danaher's marking. Juggling and then marking. It took a couple of bites. The second as he was falling to ground. But he's got it about 7 metres out on a 30-degree angle to the left-hand side.
Ball just carried from Matheson, didn't it? Pierce got lost his positioning on Danaher. Gave up his back.
These are the ones that can make Joe a little nervy, but surely from here he comes in and goes whack. Joe's got a couple, and Brisbane have well and truly got the upper hand over Fremantle. They lead by 39 points. Closing in on half-time, about 3 minutes away from it. 9-6-60, they lead the Dockers 3-3-21. Clint Wilden, Ben Cameron, the experts, Brownlow medalist Shameway Woden, and Freo AFLW captain Carl Antonio.
He just read it better there, Danaher. Used his body, little nudge, but yeah, you're right. Well, Pierce gave up his back, and with someone with that height and that reach, you don't want to be doing that.
Been very good, Brisbane. Late 17 tackles, Fremantle. Pressure. It's not great today. 38 respectively for Brisbane.
They've kicked 7 of the past 8. A run of 4, then Taberner's goal, and then a run of 3 now for the Lions as McCluggage looks to take away the ball from the middle to Jared Berry, who kicks towards left half forward on the bounce. Taken nicely there by Cameron. In fact, he took it out as he got the kick away. So it's going to come back towards left half forward for Brisbane for the throw-in. The Lions kicking to the left of our broadcast position, the Graham Farmer Freeway end of Perth Stadium in this quarter. Mostly one-way traffic in the afternoon. Fremantle almost their own worst enemies as Meek brings it down. Got it to Brayshaw, now to Chera. Stabs the pass in the direction of Darcy, who marks on his chest. He gets the play on. Didn't know that Zorko was coming. He spoils it down. Well done, Dane Zorko. Then kicks towards left half forward himself. Lions couldn't mark. Sent over the boundary line by Wilson. But another example of Fremantle just not sure what's going on around them. Great smother, though, from Zorko. Almost textbook. Had the arms out. It ricocheted back to him. Wonderfully done.
Umpire spins it back in. Meek slapping it down towards Blakely, who's bundled over, copping it in the back. They'll get a free kick.
That's the difference between being in the moment with Zorko there on the mark, not even on the mark, but just applying that pressure.
Head in the game, present. Fremantle just a bit off today as Chera kick short to Collier, who's kicked 2 of their 3 goals. Maybe kicking one from here. He's up on the wing, so goes short to Mundy. Mundy a little unsure as to where he should head. And now he sets it up towards the pocket, making good position. Spoil comes from behind. Roving Birchall gives it off to Zorko. His kick smothered. Off hands out of play. A throw in between wing and right half forward for the Dockers. 39 points Brisbane's advantage. 82 seconds away from halftime.
What have we got left in this half? One down by McInerney. Out after it, Brayshaw. Ball bounced away from him. Then he slipped over. Got a hand pass back, though, to Blakely. Swept it forward to Mundy. Met by Zorko. Mundy just got the hand pass back. Came in the direction of Brayshaw. Couldn't gather. Ricocheted off him and over for a boundary throw-in. Fremantle probably conceding a couple of metres from where the ball was thrown in just a moment ago.
Berry's been assigned to Brayshaw today.
Meek against McInerney. Meek punted down with the left. Line actually bumped Brayshaw over then as they both headed towards the football. It stayed on the deck. Chera over the top. Been locked in. Ball up. Closing stages of the second quarter. McInerney run it down. They sort of swung the left fist at it to just spike it forwards. Blakely tries to gather. Hard up against the boundary. Right beneath our broadcast position. And then umpire says, no, we'll lock this one in. And we'll be balling it up. Very slowly to his feet. Ball thrown up once more. McInerney trying to take clean possession. Knocked out of his hands. There's a holding decision here. It's coming the way of the Brisbane Lions. It'll be taken by McInerney, who's got it on centre wing.
So McInerney gives it to Birchall. Puts his left boot through it. To half forward, Fullerton goes up, not quite. Down at ground level, Matheson gives it back to Fullerton. Lyons chips to the pocket. Danaher on the lead. Sliding in, he marks. 25 metres out, 2 metres in from the boundary line. Wrong side for a left footer, deep in the left forward pocket. What does he do here, Cara and Shane?
I think the siren will go, so he'll have to kick after it.
It'll take a good drop punt to go through.
He's going with the drop punt by the look of things. So my understanding of the rule here as well, he's allowed to start if you draw a line from the middle of the goal to the man on the mark and continuing through. He's allowed to start left of that and work to that point.
Yes.
Or come in straight. He's electing to go with the drop punt and go straight. This will take some kick. Danaher comes in. It's a good effort. It's better than good. It's great. Smoking Joe with a fantastic finish after the halftime siren. His third, the Lions' 10th. And boy, that hurts the Dockers. 10-6-66. They lead Fremantle 3-3-21. 45 points at the main break.
So they've had 2 runs of 4 consecutive goals, Brisbane. As you heard from Ben, Joe Danaher with 3. The Lions in complete control. 45 points to the margin. Lincoln McCarthy's got a couple, and then singles to Cockatoo, McStay, Bailey and McInerney. While for Fremantle, 2 to Travis Collier and 1 to Matt Tabner. It's been a lopsided contest. As I mentioned throughout the call, at times Fremantle have been their own worst enemy. Turning the ball over, just not really awake to the contest. Brisbane Lions, they needed a win after dropping 3 of their past 4. They're well on their way to picking up 4 points at halftime here at Perth Stadium. What have you made of things? Shane Woden and Cara Antonio on Grandstand AFL.
Been impressed with Brisbane.
Their pressure, it's been amazing. 16
tackles for a half a footy for Fremantle. 16. I think they had 9 in the first and 7 in the second. Just don't want to lay in his skin.
And they've only laid 2 inside forward 50, where Brisbane's laid 15 inside forward 50. So you can tell the difference. And I spoke about it at the start of the game. They're so poor in that area. Their pressure, when the ball comes inside 450, to lock it in, it's so easy for teams to rebound it out, and that's exactly what Brisbane have done today.
Absolutely. There's an aspect of the technical aspect of tackling, but there's the intent and
the will and the want to do it.
Attitude to want to go and do it and pressure the opposition. And I just felt they've been on their heels a bit today, Fremantle, and allowing, particularly in that forward 50 of Brisbane, and they look vulnerable. And again, it's probably more so their effectiveness going forward too, Fremantle, isn't it? Like, they're just bombing it inside 50. There's no method. It's just get in there, hope. Brisbane winning ground ball in there, and then just finding easy exits too. So inside 50s, it's 23 apiece, but Fremantle just don't look like scoring.
well, they're not making the most of their opportunities. I've seen Taberner on a number of occasions want it out the back. Lead up at the ball carrier. He's so strong. And Tracy's the same. He's so strong on the lead. He can take those marks when they're kicked out in front. They're hard to defend as well, but there's just lack of movement from the forwards, lack of connection, lack of work. There's no blocks. They're not working together. Whereas on the flip side, when Brisbane get it down the other end, you can tell the synergy between the forward and the midfielders delivering it inside. Absolutely.
They've had a few skill areas around centre forward area, Fremantle, which hasn't been able to get clean ball going in too, which has been unfortunate. But, credit to Brisbane. They've been here a week. Been locked away. And certainly their intent and their energy out there at the moment has been far greater than what Fremantle have been able to display. And they are a commanding position. It's not as if they haven't got anything to play for, Fremantle. They're fighting for a top 8 spot. Brisbane are really locked up a top 6. They're 2 games. So they're fighting, but you'd think Fremantle have got a lot to play for. They're just not showing anything at the moment. It's like no one wants to take that spot. And, been really poor. Really poor. Been really disappointed for what Fremantle have dished up to date.
How does it happen? So how are Fremantle seemingly just... The individual players seem not to have their head in the game. It's like they're not mentally up for today. They've been making silly mistakes, apparently not being present in the moment, 50-metre penalties. Wilson just ambling on the last line while under pressure. Sean Darcy, a complete lack of awareness that Dane Zorko was coming to smother his kick. How does that happen when you're a group or a player?
And they're controllables, which is the most frustrating thing from a coaching area. They are controllables where, it's okay to get beaten in a game because if the team's better in the day or they execute better or more effectively, cop that, no worries. But they're losing right now, and at the moment, things that they can control and take care of. But Justin will be doing his head in right now,
particularly when it's all to play for. So you win against Richmond, you finish the round in the 8, and just show up and bring something similar, and they just seem off the pace mentally today.
How good was their second half last week in that area? It was a genuine fight. It wasn't a pretty game, but they came to play and dished it up to a really good opposition. And they, again, challenged early today, but haven't responded at all.
Shane Woden and Cara Antonio with us at Perth Stadium. It's Brisbane 10-6-66 to Fremantle 3-3-21 at half-time. Repeating those other scores, Essendon by 13 points over the Western Bulldogs and Hawthorn by 19 over Collingwood. Let's pause here now and take the latest from the ABC Newsroom.
ABC News with Satyam Weinstein. A public health alert has been issued for several locations in far north Queensland after it was revealed a COVID-positive taxi driver was infectious in the community for 10 days. The exposure sites include several locations in Cairns, Manunda and the Parramatta Park area between July 28 and August 6. The Cairns Regional Council and the Yarrabah Aboriginal Shire Council have gone into lockdown from 4 p.m. this afternoon. Meanwhile, 11 local government areas in the southeast Queensland have come out of lockdown today, which means schools are back from tomorrow morning. But some restrictions remain in place. Mask wearing is still mandatory and now includes high school students. Queensland's Chief Health Officer, Dr. Jeanette Young, says the lockdown has worked.
An excellent result for southeast Queensland, one I truly wasn't expecting. This is a fantastic response. To see 8 days in, after we had those very large numbers of early cases, to see it under control so beautifully is fantastic.
New South Wales has recorded 262 new COVID cases and the death of a woman, with tighter lockdown announced for more suburbs in Western Sydney. Here's Antoinette Collins.
The woman was a resident at the Wyoming Residential Aged Care Facility in Summer Hill. She was unvaccinated and died at Royal Prince Alfred Hospital. Dr Jeremy McAnulty from New South Wales Health says because of an increase in cases, 12 suburbs in the Penrith local government area will now be considered areas of concern from 5 o'clock today.
The suburbs of affected Caddens, Claremont Meadows, Collyton, Erskine Park, Kemps Creek, Kingswood, Mount Vernon, North St Mary's, Orchard Hills, Oxley Park, St Clair and St Mary's.
3 new cases have been identified on the Central Coast and 7 new cases have been confirmed in the Hunter New England district, 3 of which are in Armidale and 4 in Newcastle.
Of today's new cases in New South Wales, up to 176 were in the community while infectious. 6 students from 3 different schools in Melbourne's west and northwest are among Victoria's 11 new locally acquired COVID cases. 4 are students at the Al Taqwa College in Truganina. 1 attends Ilham College in Kewa and the other is at Mount Alexander College in Flemington. The other cases include 3 linked to a Caroline Springs shopping centre, another 3 connected to the Altona North Cafe and 1 is a player at Newport Football Club. Chief Health Officer Professor Brett Sutton says health teams are particularly concerned about community transmission at the CS Square shopping centre in Caroline Springs, which has a number of Tier 1 sites.
These are settings where lots of people move through, where it's not always absolutely clear that they've gone to a named exposure site, but because there's a shared space, a walkway, or indeed bathrooms, toilets, there are potential exposures there that are not just the Tier 1 listed sites.
Thousands of people have been evacuated from Greece's second largest island, Evia, as bushfires burn across the nation in its worst heatwave in 3 decades. People have been taken by ferry from fire-stricken Evia as more ships are waiting if needed for evacuations. But this woman says the government isn't doing anything to help the community.
Most people here are very angry. Our villages are destroyed. There is nothing left from our homes, our properties, nothing. And we were all alone. 3 days now, we're all alone. Nobody helped, no one.
Officials in the U.S. state of California say 5 people are missing after the Dixie Fire swept through 2 towns. 3 firefighters have been injured fighting the blaze, which is now one of the largest bushfires in the state's history. Emergency crews are taking advantage of cooler conditions as they try to contain the blaze, along with several other big fires. The Dixie Fire broke out last month in the Sierra Nevada mountains and is now threatening thousands of homes in the forests of Northern California. Australia's Chief de Mission, Ian Chesterman, has spoken of the huge relief in getting athletes home safely as the Tokyo Olympics comes to an end. Here's Tom Maddox.
Australia has equalled its best ever performance, winning 17 gold medals as part of a challenging but unforgettable Olympics. In an emotional press conference, Ian Chesterman described the burden of restrictions and the huge responsibility he felt in getting athletes home safely.
It's a huge relief, obviously. It's a big campaign.
Despite fears in the build-up to the Games, there were no COVID cases among the Australians. Chesterman thanked the host nation.
You achieved what many thought was impossible.
ABC News.
The 2021 AFL Premiership season on ABC Radio and on ABC Sport Digital.
Brayshaw got away from his opponent, did really well. Kicks Fremantle inside 450. Taverner attacked the footy, had 2 bites at it, grabs it the second time. Freo desperately need a goal. Taverner's kick delivers. Never looked like missing. It ends a run of 4 unanswered majors by the Lions. Fremantle at last have their 3rd.
Bailey snaps into the pocket, bouncing ball. Dockers have the numbers. Blakely's there, he's tackled by McStay. Ball jars free, comes out to Cockatoo, snaps the goal. An opportunistic goal from the Lions and Nakai Cockatoo. And just like that, Brisbane respond. Meek hooking it down towards Blakely. Matheson shovels out a handball. Bailey trying to slither free, gets it off to Zorko, snaps and goals. And he loves it. Matheson for Brisbane. Kicks to about 15 metres out. Danaher's down there. Danaher's marking. These are the ones that can make Joe a little nervy, but surely from here he comes in and goes whack. Joe's got a couple, and Brisbane have well and truly got the upper hand over Fremantle.
The 2021 AFL Premiership season on ABC Radio and on ABC Sport Digital.
On the 10-minute mark of the opening term, Brisbane kicked 8 of 9 goals. As we welcome our listeners from ABC Victoria and South Australia to Perth Stadium, A lopsided game at half-time. Brisbane absolutely dominating the Fremantle Dockers. 10-6-66 to Fremantle's 3-3-21. The goal kickers for Brisbane, Joe Danaher has 3. Kicked one after the siren. An absolute beauty from the left forward pocket too to end the half and to continue Brisbane's domination. They're up by 45 points here. 2 goals to Lincoln McCarthy. Cockatoo has 1, McStay, Bailey and McInerney the others, while for Fremantle, Travis Collier has 2, Matt Taberner with 1. Twice Brisbane have been on runs of 4 unanswered goals. They're on one of those at the moment. Just repeating those other scores too for our listeners around the rest of the states. Essendon by 13 points over the Western Bulldogs and Hawthorn by 19 over Collingwood. The Olympics, as you heard, wrapped up. Ned Hall will get him to have a look back at the final day of the Tokyo Olympics. Ned?
I can tell you that the final Australian competitor has competed at these Olympic Games, and unfortunately no medals to report on the final day of competition, where the action has been on the track and on the road in the men's marathon. The men's marathon got underway at 8 a.m. Australian Eastern Time. It was grueling, hot conditions, and there was no real surprise about the overall winner. The phenomenal Kenyan runner Eliud Kipchoge won the race in a time of 2 minutes 8 and 38 seconds, but plenty of runners did not make it to the finish line in the sweltering conditions. Liam Adams was the best of the Australians. He finished 24th. Brett Robinson was 66th. Jack Rayner, one of those who didn't finish. 30 athletes did not make it to the finish line. It was a really tough race and a very impressive performance by the winner, who really underlined how he's a class above everybody else. Meanwhile, on the track cycling's final day, Annette Edmondson was competing in the Omnium. She had a good scratch race to start things off, where she was sitting in 3rd place after that race because 9 riders crashed out of that one. However, the next race after that, when they went in the tempo race, she dropped points in that, having been lapped by a number of the lead riders, and then was out early in the elimination rate and was never really a chance of picking up a medal going into the final event, the points race at the end. Jennifer Valenti, the American, taking out the gold medal there. In the men's Kieran, Matthew Richardson didn't progress from his quarter-final, but it was a terrific day of riding from Matthew Glaetzer. He got through from his quarter-final into the semi-final, then made it through into the final, but he couldn't take the gold medal out, or any of the medals out there, with Jason Kenny, the phenomenal British rider, breaking away from the pack as soon as the lead rider pulled aside, and nobody could catch him. Raced away, was nearly 3/4 of a lap in front of the other riders that they headed into the final lap, and he held on to take out his 7th gold medal in Olympic competition. So that is all of the Australians who completed at these games. It means Australia finishes the Tokyo Games with a total of 17 gold medals, 7 silver and 22 bronze, a total of 46 Olympic medals won by the team of 470 athletes. To put that in context, it's the same number of gold medals that they won in Athens in 2004, only 4 medals less, and the team had 12 athletes less as well. It's 1 more gold medal than they achieved in the Sydney Games in 2000, when the team was a massive 630 athletes. So it goes to show this has been one of Australia's best ever Olympic Games across the board. A phenomenal performance by them. One of the gold medal winners, Matt Belcher, he'll be flying the flag at the closing ceremony tonight. A dual Olympic gold medalist. He won gold in London in the 470 class, a silver in Rio, and gold again in Tokyo with his partner in the 470 class, Will Ryan, and he will be the flag bearer at the closing ceremony. It's been quite a few weeks of Olympic coverage, but it's all done for now. The last Australian has competed, and it's all over. And that's the latest from Tokyo.
As winter turns to spring, it's time to look after your citrus, and the August issue of ABC Gardening Australia magazine has a step-by-step guide. Revel in pretty freesias and tea trees, and find out how to work a bit of black magic with dark leaf plants. Tino shares tips for growing potatoes, and there's advice for West Coast rose lovers dealing with the curse of chili thrips. Gardening Australia magazine, available from newsagents and abcmagazines.com.au.
The 2021 AFL Premiership season on ABC Radio and on ABC Sport Digital.
Welcome to our listeners on ABC Sport Digital. around Sydney, Brisbane and Canberra. Joining us from the National Rugby League coverage, Bulldogs going down to the West Tigers by 12 points. The Tigers 28 to Canterbury Bankstown 16. And the other game, a 36 points to 14 win for the Titans over the Cowboys. So a 22-point win for the Gold Coast over North Queensland. Fremantle have got an awful lot of work to do here. Can they change things up in this second half? Shane Woden and Cara Antonio. What would have he been saying, the coach in Justin Longmuir, to a side who was so disappointing in that first 2 quarters of footy?
Oh, pressure. It comes down to the pressure, the intent. We spoke about it at half-time. Those are things that you can control. Your effort, your mindset, your attitude to want to go and win the footy and hunt the footy. And the connection for me between mid and forwards, we need forwards leading up at the ball to provide more options to hit the scoreboard. Just the effect, the disposal efficiency and the efficiency going inside forward 50 has been really poor.
And awareness, Shane?
Yeah, a little bit of that. For me, to ramp up the heat around the contest, I wanted to shift the footy more and start to get it to the other side of the ground and tidy up a few things in D50.
Shane Woden and Cara Antonio alongside us as our experts. Ben Cameron, what do some of the numbers say?
Well, the most telling stat is this. Brisbane have had 26 more disposals than Fremantle, but have had 41 tackles to 15.
Wow.
+4 in contested possessions are the Brisbane Lions. Clearances, Fremantle actually leading that 17 to 16. Individual ball winners, David Mundy 14, Chera 14, Sarong 14, McCluggage and Zorko with 14 as well. That tackle differential is telling.
Absolutely it is.
Because that just is effort, work rate, desire.
Want.
And it's where Brisbane have been lacking the last month is work rate. So they've come with a purpose, some real urgency, some intensity in their game, and thrown the challenge down to Fremantle. Can you go with this?
The Dockers, who would have been hoping to climb back into the 8th. That's where they started proceedings. As things stand at the moment, they've slipped right down to 11th. Richmond and the Bombers and the Giants all leaping ahead of them on this performance so far from what we've seen in round 21. There is one game to come. That's tomorrow, the Eagles up against Melbourne. Do Brisbane continue to roll on? Let's find out. Here's Ben Cameron on Grandstand AFL.
And the rain begins to fall, which makes any comeback harder as Zorko on the bounce spikes it forward. Free kick going to Freo. This will lead to a cheer. So Chera with the free kick in the middle of the ground. Chera runs around, drives it inside 50. Tracy will launch it and mark it. He marks 30 out directly in front, and Fremantle made their 19-year-old key forward, who turned 19 during the week, to go back and kick this.
Had a free run at it.
He did.
Harris Andrews may have been his direct opponent at the time.
He's been goalless the last 2 games. Josh Tracy comes in, puts it through, gives it the big fist pump, and flexes the bicep. Well, we see that intensity level from the Dockers in the second half. Back to 39 points. 10-6-66 the Lions. Fremantle 4-3-27, 1 minute played, second half.
Yeah, you're right. I don't know what was happening with Harris Andrews, I think. And Tracy was just able to leap at the footy and take the mark over Robertson.
I think Harris was going to where he thought the ball was going, which is generally his natural game.
Yeah.
To come off his man, play team defence, generally support each other at the back 6.
Desperately needed that one, the Dockers.
Hopefully it starts to string a few of them.
They haven't been at the races at all today. Will that give them some sort of spark? Ends a run of 4 unanswered goals by Brisbane. How do the Lions now respond? As Darcy won it down, slapped away by Lions though, got it to Zorko. Brisbane kick towards left half forward. Ball's allowed to bounce. Hitting it Wilson. Oh, great tackle McCarthy. Ran towards him, wrapped him up. Got it on to Young though, and then he's tackled as well. Ball jars free a second time. Zorko's there to mop up for the Lions. Kicks into the left forward pocket. Good mark, Ryan. Coming back with the flight of the football, was able to stick out the right hand and drag it into his chest. He marks it right fullback for Fremantle.
So Ryan decides to kick as long as he can, out towards the wing. No mark taken. Then at ground level, Archie goes after it. And it's paddled out. We'll get a throw in. Bridget, without asking too much of a question without notice, how is the rainfall down there? How heavy is it?
It's not super heavy, it's steady for now.
Umpire spins it back in. McInerney hooking it in the Archie direction, picks it up off the deck. Handball back to McInerney, then Sarong. He's able to pick it up and win it for the Dockers and win a free kick as well. So Sarong just backward of the wing will have it for Freo. For the headband from the very start of the game for the last few weeks after a cut on his eyebrow a few weeks ago, Caleb Sarong. Looks like he could have been playing for the Wallabies yesterday in the Bledisloe. Stabs it short. A good kick. Able to find a teammate. And Tucker out on the southern side of the ground. So Tucker called to play on, kicks a low ball around the southern wing. Coming up, Tracy launches. And the big fella's come out inspired in this second half. His kick's dangerous into the middle, but it finds Schultz. Marks on his chest in the middle. He'll go up the middle, in the Meek direction. Free run and jump. Meek drags it in. 35 out, 30-degree angle to the right-hand side. And Fremantle looking for the first two goals of this second half.
Well, Brisbane gave Freo access to the corridor. It was a brave kick by Tracy, but it has to be, all Fremantle have to be in their second half, and it just gives you better access inside 50. And had the mismatch with Birchall. Let's hope he can.
The kick's an awkward-looking one, but it finds the major opening. The double cobra from Lloyd Meek. Who kicks his first goal in AFL footy. And the Dockers come to congratulate the big ruckman in game number 7. And just like that, it's back to 33 points. 5-3-33 move Fremantle. Brisbane 10-6-66. 5 played in this third term.
Great work by Tabernar too. Just a little check on Birchall at the last minute. Nothing major, but enough just to get him off the line to allow me to get to the ball.
It wasn't overly convincing.
No.
Style point.
Very strange, wasn't it?
It was awkward.
Massive cheer from the Fremantle faithful. Last, they've got something to get excited about. Darcy won it down. The ball pinballs around and back to Darcy for the Dockers. Brayshaw, hand passes to Walker. Goes on a bit of a run. Pops a hand pass forward. Bounces the way of Sarong. He gathers. Outer edge of the centre square. Finds Taberner, who marks in the right forward pocket. He's 45 out from goal, about 3 metres in from the boundary.
Well, it's amazing what can happen when forwards are leading up to the ball and into space. It gives the midfielders and the players with the ball so many options going inside forward 50, and fantastic again from the young midfielders to work that ball inside forward 50.
Centre bounce crucial in the modern game.
He has one today, Taberner. This will make it interesting. The kick's not going to have the carry. It's going to land just outside the goal square. Tracy almost dragged it in. Tap down there by Schultz. Comes out towards Darcy. Worked it towards Croden. Hand passes back with Aish waited. Gathered it. Got tackled straight away. Set upon by 2 lines. Jared Berry one way. Archie the other. It's going to be a ball up. 45 out from Fremantle's attacking goal.
Some movement going here through stoppage.
McInerney slaps it down to Robinson, who jams it on the left boot, kicks into the middle of the ground. Spoil from McStay, keeps it moving forward. Pearce gets back, gets a nice shepherd from Ryan. Able to pick it up, handball to Meek. Fremantle go through the middle. Handball misses, Chera sets a task for him. He gets there, knocks it on, out towards Tucker. Wants to turn onto his left, kicks towards full forward. Darcy's there, up he goes. The big ruckman can't mark. Andrews roves for the Lions. Handball to Rich. Handball to Starcevic, a kick to the southern wing.
It's very high up into the air. McStay was able to win it down, hacked forward by the Lions to left half forward, almost soccer style, going up. Danaher tried to control it with the left shin. It ricocheted away. The Freo fans wanted deliberate. Not sure they were going to get it for that. Or insufficient intent. I was obviously watching the gold medal game and the soccer last night at the Olympics, looking to control it and move it around the body with the left. Didn't quite have the deft touch required. Throwing back in. McInerney won it down. Bounces around. Mundy tries to get to it. McInerney put himself in the way. Allows Meat to gather though. Got it to Tucker. Took too long. Ball got jarred free in a tackle. It's spilled to Chera. Chance here for the Dockers. Chera inside forward 50. Mark not paid or a free kick to Darcy. Thought his arms might have been chopped. The ball towards the boundary line at left half forward. It's over for a throw-in. Pryor doing well defensively. Keen to see that on replay whether Darcy had enough of the footy. Coming in Leicester. I reckon he might have just had enough of it. Throwing back in. McInerney won it down for the Lions. There to be won again. Blakely over the top of it. Up against Berry. Tapped out the side. Emerging with it, Zorko. Hand passes back to Robinson. Gets a hurried kick away. High up in the air towards centre wing. Low goes up. Can't mark.
Gives off a handball. Looking for Young. Aish gets involved. It's held in. And we'll get a ball up. Now, the Dockers fans can't be too aggrieved.
Yeah, they missed
Darcy Tucker was caught stone cold holding the ball.
Umpire
He took
throws.
3 seconds, didn't dispose of it,
He
and the
had the
umpire
whistle
said
to
play
his
on.
mouth.
It was bizarre. I don't think they've got a great run with the whistle today, but they can't complain there as they emerge with the football. Ace jams it on the boot, floats it towards 50. Schultz drops the mark, out of play, throw in at left half forward. 33 points, 10-6 to 5-3, exactly halfway Fremantle. No ruck in this contest, so McInerney takes it out of the ruck, kicks it out on the full. Fremantle to get it between wing and left half forward, and it would seem that Justin Longmuir has worked some level of wonders at half-time.
Just a stern little maybe talking to.
Oh, the Brisbane fan with a good bit of showmanship. In fact, I like that.
Very proud of his efforts.
Gives it back to Chera eventually, then drives it long to full forward. Taberner goes up, not quite. Spoilt down. Bouncing ball 40 out from the Dockers attacking goal. Collier swooping on it. Gets a handball away eventually. Coming through Cockatoo. His kick dribbles off the shin. Hot footy at the moment. Cockatoo goes in. Croden picks it up, slung to ground. Zorko jams it on the boot, tumbles it into the middle of the ground. Walker gets back there, knocks it out towards Logue.
Logue able to gather. Oh, dangerous kick. He was looking for Ryan. McStay got in front, won it down. He's got it at right half forward. Turnovers have killed Fremantle today. There's another. The kick into the right forward pocket. Cameron marks, steers it back to Bailey. And Bailey, he marks right in front of goal. He'll kick from no more than 30 out.
He had a couple of options there.
3.
Didn't he? Logue.
2 deepest ones towards us were probably the better ones.
Took the 4th of the 3 options, I think, as well,
Yep.
Cara, to borrow a phrase.
No penetration in the kick.
No.
Big moment for the Lions. Bailey rarely misses. Quality player. Kicks the goal. He's got 2. Well done to Zach Bailey. 27 goals, 11 for the season, and Brisbane end the little Fremantle resurgence. 11-6-72 the Lions. The Knockers are 5-3-33. 11 gone in the third term on Grandstand AFL. Repeating earlier today, the Bombers by 13 over the Bulldogs and Hawthorn by 19 over the Pies.
Wasn't a great kick, fell off it, didn't he?
Which is disappointing because Fremantle have kind of owned this first part of the third quarter and costly turnover. You know, that's what good sides do. Go back and convert, and
they weren't able to lock that last bit of play inside their forward 50. They had plenty of opportunities. Brisbane were just a bit better at the contest.
Umpire throws it up in the rain. Darcy knocks it out towards Mundy on the burst out of the middle. Fans thought he was held without the football. He was. He'll get the free kick. So just inside the centre square here, David Mundy for the Dockers. Goes short to Collier. Oh, through his mitts it goes in the increasing rain. Now loose footy at centre half back for the Lions. Pearce gets involved for Freo. Bursts through. Handball out towards Brayshaw. There's a free kick. It'll come back to Pearce. So Mark's at 51 out. Taberner deep. Tracy deep. Pearce will just wait a kick towards the pocket. Taberner launches at it. Darcy in front. The big man juggles it and marks. He knocked it up in the air, and as he fell onto his backside, the ball fell into his lap to complete the mark, and he can snap from the right forward pocket.
I think they start leaving him there, let Nick ruck a fair bit. He's actually dangerous inside 50.
And he hooks it around on the left, right through the major opening. He finishes his work. Sean Darcy, Fremantle 6-3-39, back to 33 points the margin, 11-6-72 the Brisbane Lions. And that's an ever-improving part of his game. 36 contested marks coming into today, the 9th most in the competition for Sean Darcy.
Well, Schultz did some really good work off the ball to block Andrews out, even to allow Taberner, I suppose, to go up. And I suppose Andrews would have maybe been able to spoil that if he had been trailing Taberner. So some good work from the small forward there in Schultz, but a fantastic contested mark from Darcy. I'm really loving his ability to push forward and take those marks, but more importantly, hit the scoreboard.
Not only is he tall as ruckman are, but he's an immovable object. He is thick through the core, through the quads, hard to move.
Wins another hit out too. That's his 17th of the afternoon. Mundy couldn't gather though. Pressure came from Matheson. Was able to work it out to McCluggage. Hits the line inside forward 50. Unlucky bounce for Aish and Walker. Aish went a second time. Looking to emerge with it lines. Hand straight to Walker. Kicks the Dockers beyond defensive 50, but down the throat of Danaher, who marks 55 out from goal at left half forward. He says he's going to have a go at the big sticks. Wet conditions, breeze, although it does swirl, is a little bit against him. He'll be kicking from, I would say, at least 55, possibly even a bit more. David Mundy stands on the mark and then goes to try and close him down. Danaher's kick is into the left forward pocket, was touched off the boot, which meant Pearce couldn't mark. Spills out, Aish gathers, he's tackled right up against the boundary line. Ball up the call. Umpire Dean Margetts goes in to gather. Well done to David Mundy to apply that pressure on Danaher. So the ball to be thrown aloft deep in the left forward pocket for the Lions.
Darcy taps it boundary side and eventually it trickles out. Caleb Sarong picking a fight with Joe Danaher. On the weight, same weight class there. Two number threes. Throw in. Left forward pocket for Brisbane. Danaher doing the ruck work. Goes with the clenched fist to knock it down. Lots of players around the footy. It spits out to Mundy. Sweeps a handball to Henry in the back pocket for the Dockers. Oh, thought about turning back into traffic. Then turns it over almost with the kick, but follows up. Sockers to his own advantage. Tries to pick it up low down. Coleman comes in for Brisbane. He does pick it up. Gives it off to McStay, who chips inside 50. Pearce caught behind. Gets a fist in late. At half-back here for the Dockers. Coming through Matheson. He's held and Matheson will get the free kick. Will it go to Cameron rather? He was impeded first, so that precedes the Matheson incident. Cameron with the free kick. 33 points, Brisbane's lead. 16 minutes into the third.
Goes across half forward, finds Birchall. Birchall kicks. Hoping Fulton runs onto it. He does. 51 out from goal. Kicks to the teeth of goal. Danaher went up, couldn't mark. Line couldn't get a kick away. Ball's there a second time. Lyons gathers. Hands it back to Bailey. Well tackled by Sarong. Walker gathers it. Tackled by Matheson. Lost possession. Spills out again to Sarong. He's kicking to the side of Bailey. Up into the air. Mundy couldn't gather. Brayshaw can. Does well. Hands it off to Henry in the left back pocket. Clearing kick beyond defensive 50. There's a packet left half back. It spills down to Cameron for the Lions. Kicks into the right forward pocket. Couldn't find his target in McStay. Up against him was Ryan, who was happy to turn and watch the ball tumble over for a throw-in at right full forward. That's for the Brisbane Lions, who lead on the scoreboard by 33 points, 17 gone in the third.
Umpire brings it back in. Darcy taps it down. McCarthy Rove snaps on goal. Pearce able to push it through for a behind. So 34 points, or 33 points again rather, is Brisbane's lead. 11-7, 73, play 6-3, 17 and a half into the third.
Ryan tucks the ball under his left arm, goes on a bit of a run. That's a horrible kick. Off the outside of the boot, it was almost, well, a torpedo he didn't mean as it spun its way towards the boundary line at right half back and goes across the line for a throw-in. Lucky not to be out of bounds on the full. Ball to be put back into play. Meek up against Fulton. Meek won it down. Henry tries to gather. Hacked forward by the lines through traffic, and it sits up beautifully for McStay. It was inventive from Brisbane. Lyons was able to get the kick away off the ground. McStay leading out from full 40. Marks right in front. And he'll put boots the ball from 35 out.
Just allowed access through the stoppage. Fremantle.
McStay sends his kick between the big sticks. Brisbane, they've got a dozen on the scoreboard in terms of majors. McStay's got his second of the afternoon. 12-7, 79. So the Dockers 6-3, 39. 40-point advantage in favour of Brisbane. And we've gone 18 and a bit minutes into the third term on Grandstand AFL. Clint Wilden alongside Ben Cameron, our experts, Cara Antonio, Fremantle AFLW captain, and Brownlow medalist Shane Woden.
Well, they were able to get through the front of the stoppage, weren't they?
Yep.
And that's the seventh goal that they've kicked from stoppage. So, yeah, you see on the big screen, JL not impressed with that. Needs to be better structure and shape around stoppage for the Dockers.
Yeah, anticipated well there, Lyons. Got on his toes, got through the front, read it off Frio's hands.
Umpire puts it aloft in the middle. No decisive tap from the ruckman. Picking it up, Zorko gives it out to McCluggage, who kicks to half forward. Cockatoo can't quite complete the mark. Loose footy picking it up, Lyons jams it on the boot. It floats to Pearce inside his D50 for the Dockers. 49 metres out from his defensive goal, 40 points. The advantage for Brisbane. Pearce kicks towards the wing. Meek comes up, crashes into Coleman. It was in front, picking it up Sarong. Handball to Chera on the logo. Handball forward for Tracy. Runs to 55. Floats it inside 50. Schultz works his way to the front. Goes past that contest. Out the back. Robinson has a little moment, but time to recover. Decides to take the advantage from what was a free kick and kicks to the wing and turns it over to Walker of the Dockers.
Not sure the advantage was really what he wanted as Walker, as Ben said, takes the mark for Fremantle. Left half forward, moves it short to Blakely. He'll put it back towards full forward. Big group there. Punch at the back came from the Lions. Andrews got it down to Robinson, who sends it towards the boundary. It's going to be a throw-in. 45 out from Freo's attacking goal. Kicking towards the Farmer Freeway end of Perth Stadium, to the left of our broadcast position. Missed the third term. The ball put back into play. Meek gets in front of McInerney, won it down. Birchall, though clever, looked to slap it forward, but only as far as Mundy. Broke one tackle, got away from Robinson, wobbled to kick towards goal. Couldn't get it past Lester, who takes the defensive mark at full back and puts it into the left back pocket for the player who came in, the late inclusion in Coleman, who marks.
Chips it short to Rich. Could have easily been taken by the Dockers. Daniel Rich, who took Stephen Hill pick 3. Rich went at 7 to Brisbane. Both one club players as the kick goes long to the wing. Taking the mark, Danaher gives it off to Bailey. Kicks the Lions to half forward. Going up, Berry, or Fullerton rather, and ball goes out the back at ground level after the swirl comes there from Ryan. He kicks towards the wing for the Dockers. Tucker able to get a handball away towards Tracy. Now merging with it, Weston. Handball back to Tucker. Freo on the wing. Pearce. He thinks about it. Spins. Now kicks inside, attacking 50 for the Dockers. Trying to get it to Schultz. Lester with the fist. At the back, Rich. He mops up. Gives a handball to Birchall, who gives it back to Rich in the back pocket for Brisbane.
That raking left boot, he sends it beyond defensive 50. A lovely pass. That's travelled 65 metres and it hits McStay on the chest. From left half back, he'll put the Lions to the southern wing. Up goes Fordson. I thought he'd taken the mark. Umpire says play on. Must have got a touch for another player in the pack. He'll kick towards left half forward. Spoiled came from Wilson at the back. Got it down towards McCluggage. Kicks back inside forward 50. Trying to take it Walker. Under pressure. The hand pass knocked down by McCarthy, and he and the opposite 11 in H sit over the boundary line for a throw-in. Left full forward. As far as the Lions are concerned, kicking to the city end in his third turn. Ball back into play. McInerney took clean possession, threw it on the right boot and steers it through for a goal. The Big O's got 2. Brisbane with 13 for the afternoon so far. 13-7-85 to Fremantle 6-3-39. 23 gone in the third. He made it look easy, the big fella.
Another forward 50 stoppage. Again, just got to be strong enough, Meek, doesn't he?
Just got moved too easily.
Yeah.
Wasn't a lot in it either.
Little Meek in the contest.
Well done.
Not very good.
No, very
really,
good.
No.
Standard, mate.
I was looking for the drum roll.
Yeah.
It's a low bar. Just shoved out of the way by the Big O. 8-2-50 from stoppages today for Brisbane.
Yeah, 3 from forward 50.
The AFL average is 2 scoring shots from forward 50 stoppages, so it was 3-2, I think. So what's that? 5 scoring shots, well above average. Back in the middle, Darcy tapping it down for Fremantle. McInerney picks it up. Mundy gets it on the bounce from the McInerney handball. Spins and gets a handball away. Robinson soccers Brisbane inside 50. Bouncing ball. Picking it up. There quickly was Archie. Out to Fullerton to Cameron. Handball to Danaher. Puts it through from the goal square.
Clean.
4 for Joe. And the Lions from the CBD go inside 50 and put through their 14th. And they're out by a game-high 52 points. They've kicked the last 3 goals. 14-7, 91, plays 6-3, 25 minutes into the third.
They just surged forward, but clean by
Great
Archie. Great hands by Matheson. Oh, Charlie had gone behind him. But for all youngsters out there, having your one wood just to be clean with the ball or the ground ball, whatever it may be, one touch, very good in trying conditions.
Very quiet at Perth Stadium now. Dockers fans know they're about to let slip their spot in the 8. Darcy won it down this time. Comes out to Brayshaw, then to Mundy from the logo. Southern wing, kicks inside forward 50. Henry out after it, couldn't gather. Ball ricochets around, Andrews gathers. He'll kick around the body. That'll go over the boundary line. This will be interesting. It might be deliberate, it is. No Lions in the vicinity. Free kick going the way of Fremantle. They've got it right half forward. David Mundy. And 352 for him. Goes short. Able to find Sarong. Not significantly close to the goal. Still about 55 out at right half forward. He'll put it into the right forward pocket. He wants Taberner. Spoil came from Andrews. Got a fist to the foot. He did well. So went over the line.
It's great team defence there. Dan McStay's come down as a forward to take Sean Darcy, to allow Oscar McInerney to be behind the ball and be in the way.
So Tracy to do the ruck work. Oh no, he's called out of it. So McInerney, unopposed, takes it out of the ruck, throws it on the boot. Finds Darcy, who is sitting a kick behind play. He marks for Fremantle. Just forward of the wing, drives it back to full forward, looking for a marker. No one there. Andrews fists it down. Rich Roves. He throws it on the boot, kicks beyond defensive 50, and fortuitously finds Bailey for the Lions. Zach Bailey chips his kick over the top. A good kick to Jared Berry. He gives the handball back to Bailey. Shanks his kick slightly, but it bounces to Zorko on the wing. He just shorts it over the top. On the bounce, picking it up Archie. Handball to Bailey. Sweeps a handball forward without really having a target. And Sarong gets it back for the Dockers. Handball away towards Darcy. Now Brayshaw's under the pump. He's run down. And a little high fend off.
He got legged, I think, in the tackle.
So Brayshaw will get the free kick. Just backward of neutral territory. He did get legged in the replay. Zorko grabbed his boot. So Brayshaw with it for Freo, just backward of the southern wing. 52 points, Brisbane's advantage.
Back to Ryan. He almost sums up most of Fremantle's afternoon for a moment. Sort of shrugs the shoulders as if to say, where do I go? So he kicks long towards the outer wing and he'll turn it over. Not what they were hoping for at all. Ryan with the long kick. Marked by Lyons. Before the Lions, moves it short to McInerney. Then to Andrews. Now to Starcevic, who marks inside his defensive 50. A metre or two from the top of the arc.
Made the ground big here. Just a stark difference. Brisbane working so much harder for the kicker than what Fremantle do.
Andrews to Rich. Now Rich has marked a metre in from the boundary at left half back.
Fremantle have just been content at going down the line all day.
Rich goes high, long towards left half forward. 2-on-2 battle. The rucks are there. Spills down. Zorko from the side. Gathers for the Lions. He thumps it long. He might get an amazing bounce. Not quite. It tumbles through to the left of the major opening. If it had just taken about a 45-degree angle turn to the right, that would have been a thumping goal. Not to be. 14-8-92 the Lions. 6-3-39 the Dockers. 28 gone in the third.
So Young ambles to the right back pocket, kicks out towards the wing, over the head of the contest. All bounces out the back. There's a whistle, free kick. It'll go to Taberner. It'll go to Fremantle, who thought about taking the advantage. In the end, Western sweeps a handball back to Taberner.
See Brisbane up really quickly, protect the corridor.
So Taberner, Wowie. Taberner at right half back, chips it over the top towards Tucker, who has three lines to deal with. Rich is one of those. He picks it up, gets a handball away towards Jared Berry, who's bundled over. Brayshaw comes in, dives on the footy. Quickly there on top of him. A ball up, 49 metres out from the attacking goal for Brisbane, who lead by 53 points, 14-8-92 to 6-3-39.
Handy win this for Brisbane in terms of percentage, particularly as they battle Sydney for fifth spot. The Dockers get the clearance. It comes from Sarong out to Taberner. He marks the true centre wing, southern side of Perth Stadium. Off a step, pops it back to Sarong, who he got it from in the first place. Sarong might have been infringed as he looked to step back. By Zorko, umpire says no, play on. Sarong puts it into the right forward pocket. Meek is there, got hands to it, couldn't mark. Henry had it knocked out of his grasp. Umpire spots a free kick. It's coming back here. And taken by the Lions. Opportunity for Starcevic. Henry giving away the free kick against Starcevic, and he'll go short. Starcevic for the Lions to Rich again, who marks hard up against the boundary deep in the left back pocket. Brisbane's lead 53 points, half an hour gone in the third.
Rich kicks long towards the wing. Contest forms. Ball comes down in front. Now Archie swooping on the loose footy. Handball to the Lions. Handball to Zorko. Thumps it long inside 50 for Brisbane. Just wasn't on the same wavelength as Fullerton. It was leading up, and Young peels back and takes the defensive mark for the Dockers. Fights off a kick to centre half back where Mundy marks. Chips short to Walker. Now Walker stabs it short to Croden. Croden wheels and kicks out towards the northern wing where Chera's in some space. He marks and goes. Wants them to come at him. Kicks out in front of Meek, who attacks it. Not quite. Getting in the way, Starcevic follows up, wins the footy at ground level. Handball to McCluggage, to Birchall, to Andrews.
Andrews back again to McStay and short to Rich in the right back pocket. Bridget Lacey's downstairs. Bridge.
Yeah, it looks like Mitch Robinson's day is done. The physio came off with him and he's had ice applied to his left calf. So it looks like Tom Berry will be entering this game in the next quarter.
The siren sounds. Another quarter won by Brisbane after a brightish start by Fremantle to the term. The Lions responded and stretched what was a 45-point lead at the half to a 53-point lead at three-quarter time. 14-8-92 Brisbane, Fremantle 6-3-39. The goal kickers Joe's got 4. Joe Danaher with 4, and then 2 to McInerney, 2 to Bailey, 2 to McStay, and 2 to McCarthy. Singles to Cockatoo and to Zorko. While for Fremantle, there's 6 goals, 2 to Collier, singles to Tracy, Meek, Taberner, and to Darcy. 3-quarter time at Perth Stadium. It's the Lions by 53. Wherever you're listening on ABC Radio, ABC Sport Digital, and ABC News Radio, this is Grandstand AFL.
Be part of the Grandstand Sport team on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. Search ABC Sport and see a world of great sport content for you to explore.
Arts, politics and culture from a range of Indigenous perspectives. On Speaking Out.
We're seeing a lot of our people, young people, going away. We should be guiding them.
We must have a country to call our own.
A lot of our women were taking their children back into the bush and hiding.
Speaking Out with Larissa Berendt, Sundays at 9 p.m. on ABC Radio.
The 2021 AFL Premiership season on ABC Radio and on ABC Sport Digital.
Chera runs around, drives it inside 50. Tracy will launch it and mark it. Josh Tracy comes in, puts it through, gives it the big fist pump and flexes the bicep. Well, we see that intensity level from the Dockers in the second half. Schultz marks on his chest in the middle. He'll go up the middle, in the Meek direction. Free run and jump. Meek drags it in. The kick's an awkward-looking one, but it finds the major opening. The double cobra from Lloyd Meek, who kicks his first goal in AFL footy. And the Dockers come to congratulate the big ruckman in game number 7.
Logue able to gather. Oh, dangerous kick. He was looking for Ryan. McStay got in front, won it down. He's got it at right half forward. Turnovers have killed Fremantle today. There's another. The kick into the right forward pocket. Cameron marks, steers it back to Bailey. And Bailey, he marks right in front of goal. Bailey rarely misses. Quality player. Kicks the goal. He's got 2. And Brisbane end the little Fremantle resurgence.
Robinson soccers Brisbane inside 50. Bouncing ball. Picking it up. There quickly was Archie. Out to Fullerton to Cameron. Handball to Danaher. Puts it through from the goal square. 4 for Joe.
The 2021 AFL Premiership season on ABC Radio and on ABC Sport Digital.
Earlier today as round 21 continued, Hawthorn beat Collingwood by 19 points. A big upset at the Docklands as Essendon beat the Bulldogs by 13. And here in the West at 3-quarter time, it's all about how much for the Brisbane Lions. They're up by 53 points over Fremantle. Our experts, Brownlow medalist Shane Woden and Fremantle AFLW captain Cara Antonio on Grandstand AFL.
They started well.
They did.
Then they brought great intent in that first 5 to probably 8 minutes. And a couple of costly errors just gave a bit of momentum back to Brisbane, didn't they? And then they certainly took control of the rest of the quarter after that. So it was a promising start, but just unable to capitalise and go on with it, really, and get themselves back in this contest. So now it's really, for me, it's about winning the quarter for Fremantle's sake right now and not let this game get right out of hand and get it blown out by 15 goals. So, just better stay competitive, keep yourselves in the game, and try to get something out of it.
Yeah.
Small wins along the way, so you can take that into next week.
Oh, definitely, and probably winning the tackle count for the quarter. They're minus 31 in tackles at the moment, and when a team is up by 53 points and they're beating you by 31 tackles, the other one is, they're minus 18 tackles inside forward 50. Their forwards have laid 3 tackles. So that for me is a big worrying sign. And again, I mentioned at the start of the call that they are poor in that area, but win the quarter on the scoreboard and win the quarter at the contest. Zorko's been fantastic. For me, I think he's led from the front. Someone needed to step up and he's played a real captain's game. He's, 620 metres gained, 23 disposals, 15 of those contested. So his work in and under the contest to get it out on the outside's been fantastic. 8 inside forward 50s and 8 tackles and has scored a goal as well. So for me, someone needed to step up. The last month for Brisbane has been poor, and he's kind of said, boys, this is how we're going to be able to play in September and jump on my back and I'll get it done. He's been fantastic.
Ben Cameron's got the numbers for us. Ben, it seems like Brisbane have had an awful lot of contributors out there. Do the stats show that?
It does. Very even for Brisbane. At the top end, Zorko with 23, then Rich 19, McCluggage 18, Bailey 16, Birchall 16. You could go on. It's very, very evenly spread. For Fremantle, Mundy 22, Sarong 22. The key stat that was pointed out by Kara is that Fremantle have been out-tackled by 30 and yet have had 29 less disposals. I think the tackles inside 50, were you saying, Kara, they only have 3?
Yeah, 3 for the game, 21 to Brisbane.
They only had 2 against Sydney the other week, and for whatever reason, that seems to go AWOL for Fremantle.
5 players haven't had one yet.
You can tell when the ball hits the ground inside 450, players stop. They don't chase and the intent's not there.
Brisbane coach Chris Fagan operating downstairs as we get this final term underway. It's McInerney who wins the tap, but it's Shark by Sarong. Goes back by hand to Pearce. Kicks in the direction of Collier. Can't quite get away from McCluggage. Got a hand pass eventually to Croden. Broke the Rich tackle to Collier, who looks to try to tap it forward. Couldn't make clean connection. Knocked down by Zorko. McInerney, McCluggage for the Lions. Now Rich, Zorko again. Hand pass to Leicester running by it. They get a free kick, the Lions. They'll take the advantage. It came to the logo to Danaher, who moves it back to Lions and will kick short to Leicester again. Commentary side of the ground on the logo. He'll flare it towards Starcevic. Runs past the centre circles on the southern side. Will kick deep towards full forward. Up as Wilson couldn't mark. Spills down for the Lions. It comes to McCluggage. He'll bounce it towards Cameron. Just to the left of goal. He steps to the right and snaps it through. Charlie Cameron adds his name to the list of Brisbane goal kickers. And in the opening 60 seconds, the Lions go bang. They're 15. 15-8-98. So the Dockers 6-3-39.
She's clean at half back, weren't they? Just big Oscar McInerney started the chain and they were clean through that possession. But Jen, just working really hard for the ball carrier at all times. And they just smash inside 50, cleaned by Bailey at ground level.
And just class again.
Class to finish off.
Yeah. 13 disposals, 5 marks and a goal for Charlie Cameron today.
Talking with people in the crowd, Charlie. There's the Brisbane fans at that end at least, so seems like it'll be friendly as Darcy takes it out of the ruck, runs towards the wing, handballs it to Collier. A high kick that lands in the lap of Chera. So Fremantle going forward. Chera goes inside 50 and Sarong marks 47 out on a tight angle. About a 45-degree angle or just better than that. Doesn't want to take on the shot. Sets it up for Taberner on the lead. Not quite. Andrews off hands gets it. Back to Birchall, who snaps across the body. Ryan goes up. Unrealistic. And a free kick to McStay at left half back for Brisbane.
Charlie might have some family down in the crowd there. Still quite a bit of family here in WA.
Played for Swan Districts in the WAFL before he was taken by the Adelaide Crows. I think earlier in his life he grew up in Brisbane before that, didn't he? As McStay kicks towards the wing over the head of the contest. It skips out the back. 59 points.
Newman boy up in the Pilbara. Played a bit of rugby up there and then got recruited down to Swan Districts.
So 15-8-98 plays 6-3-39, 3 minutes played in the fourth.
Feeding the sub was made, as you heard from Bridget at three-quarter time. So Tom Berry is on. Mitch Robinson off the ground. The Lions have possession on centre wing, commentary side. McCluggage, disposal 22 for him. Kicks to left half forward. Marked there by Bailey.
He's a gun, this kid.
He is.
He's a gun.
And pops it into the left forward pocket. Cameron flew, couldn't quite mark. Pressure came from the Dockers. Down to Pearce. Got it away towards Brayshaw under pressure. Just kept in here by Collier at right half back. Kicks to Taberner. Good mark. Sliding out. Goes across the interchange gates on centre wing as he completes the grab. I agree completely. Bailey has kicked one of the goals of the season earlier on. Not today, but up at the Gabba. Towards right half forward. Spoiling it down was Pryor. Spilled to Birchall for the Lions. Gave it to Lyons of the Lions. And now they'll look to move it forward again. This was Jared Berry kicking short and unable to mark This time, despite his best efforts, was Danaher under pressure from Pearce. It's back over the boundary line for a throw-in right beneath our broadcast position on the northern wing. The Lions lead is 59 points, 4 gone in the last.
Darcy and McInerney, they lock up. McInerney backhand to Zorko. Handball to McCluggage. Kicks off a step. Inside attacking 50. Cameron comes up. Strong mark in front. Wilson. Oh, not paid. Umpire says it's held in. Thought Wilson had all of it.
So did he.
Yeah, so did Nathan.
That's a mark.
Yeah.
Darcy slaps it down. Collier on the run on the way through. Chips it over the top. Mark taken by Henry. Takes a bounce. Rich going with him. Oh, does a little goose step. Campese style. Then just holds up and goes on the left, back infield and onto the chest of Croden.
Good composure.
And he marks 49.5 metres out. Slight angle to the right-hand side.
Thought Rich played that very well, though. Didn't get stepped. Didn't let him come back through the middle.
Logue peels around the back. Croden ignores that. Arcs out late. Kick touched off the boot, partially smothered by the man on the mark. Floats towards the goal square. Meek gathers under pressure. Has it knocked out of his hands, and then McInerney clears.
Towards centre-half back. It's marked by Darcy. Up there for the Dockers. Centre-half forward. He'll kick inside forward 50. On the bounce in the direction of Meek. He's able to gather. Got a hand pass. Wanted to find Tracy. McInerney got in the way. Zorko looks to soccer it away. Still there to be won. Birchall dives over the top of it. Zorko goes again. Still there to be won. Looked to drag it back in for a moment. Ball came out the side. Tucker was there. Tapped towards the boundary line. It's going to be a throw-in. I reckon they were fairly content to make sure that it went over the line there. Shot of Lockie Neal on the big screen. On the Fremantle favourite. And, of course, a Brownlow medalist with Brisbane out of today with suffering gastro and, of course, soreness throughout the week too. The Lions get a clearing kick away from right half back. It comes to Young, who marks for the Dockers.
So Hayden Young assesses what's before him, chips it short, trying to get it to Sarong. Can't quite. Eventually it ricochets off bodies, comes back to Sarong, kicks to full forward, launching at it Taberner, Rich in front, gets the crumbs, handball away to Cameron. He gets a handball away to the support of Zorko, who tries to kick a spiral to the wing, and offhands. It's out of play. A throw in between wing and right half forward here for the Dockers. Bridget Lacey.
Fremantle, I think, about to activate their sub. Nathan Wilson just came off and he's gone to the back of the bench with the jacket on. I know he had that right ankle earlier on, but just having a look at him now.
Brisbane by 59 points. McInerney and Meek. No decisive tap. Collier trying to punch it on. Zorko sockers it off the deck, falls into the lap of Danaher, who gets a handball away to Jared Berry. And now off a step. A clearing kick coming from Lyons, and Walker for the Dockers. Takes an intercept mark just backward of the northern wing.
He'll move it short to Collier, who comes down the commentary wing and marks in front of the Freo interchange gates in front of Jared Berry. Kicks inboard to the logo. Aish, former line, marks, turns, plays on, kicks towards full forward. Umpire spotted a free kick. It's going the way of Fremantle. It's going to be Darcy or Henry, the player who was impeded here. It will be Darcy.
There's a little late shove coming from Aish. Bailey on Aish.
I thought it might have been the arm over the top from Andrews, but you're spot on, Ben. It was the little push on Aish after he got rid of the football. So Sean Darcy, who already has one today. Darcy from right in front. He'll kick from 40 out. Starts out to the left. That's a disappointing finish from the big fella. He's become better in front of goal than that of late. He misses left. 6-4-40 the Dockers. 15-8-98 the Lions. 9 gone in the fourth.
So Rich to bring it in. Stabs it to the pocket. Birchall receives it and then kicks towards the wing. Going up Fullerton. Reaches up and drags in the mark. So Fullerton, not really so sure what next. Just sets it up for McStay, who comes in and marks over the top. Just forward of this northern wing now, Brisbane. McStay chips it short to Matheson, misses the target. And it bounces end over end out of play. Sean Darcy appealing to the umpire. It missed the target by 1 metre. It was just a poor kick, Sean. Boundary throw in at left half forward for Brisbane. 15-8-98, plays 6-4-40, 9 into the fourth.
Working on the theory, if you don't ask, you don't get there. Sean Darcy, front position though. He wins it down. Out after it first. And well done to gather is Berry. And Jared Berry kicks out of bounds on the full. The pressure came from Brayshaw. No, actually, I beg your pardon. Touched on the way through from Brayshaw. So it's going to be a throw-in instead. That medical sub has been made, as Bridget told you about. Bewley on Wilson, the player who's come off the ground. Spun back in. McInerney probably with the more telling tap. Comes down to Croden. Tackled the moment he gathered it. Wrapped up by Coleman. Late change from Brisbane, of course, just before the start. Jack Payne out with a knee injury. Coleman coming in off the emergencies. And throw up again. Down eventually towards Matheson. Got a quick hand pass out. Great tackle coming from Mundy. He absolutely wrapped up his opponent, and he'll get the decision. McCluggage was tackled, couldn't get rid of it. Well done, David Mundy. Next week we'll join Matthew Pavlich for the most games in Fremantle Collins, 353. He'll do it in Derby 53 as well. He wants someone to run towards him, and he'll kick down the commentary wing.
Sets it up towards Tracy. In front, Rich. Third man up. Just fists it out. And a throw-in. Inside the interchange gates on the northern side of Perth Stadium. Bewley checks into the game. The Medi sub. Nathan Wilson out. 58 points Brisbane's lead. There's a whistle here. Non-controlling umpire. It'll come back. In fact, it was Margetts, the controlling umpire, holding free kick on Lyons. So on the wing, Lyons runs to the logo, thumps it inside 50 in the McInerney direction. Ryan goes up, brings it down in front, spills out to McCluggage, snaps on goal, getting back Logue. He touches it on the line. Prevents another major. 15-9, 99 move Brisbane. Fremantle 6-4-40. 11.5 into the fourth on Grandstand AFL.
Rain has got a little bit heavier again at Perth Stadium. Moving it short as Ryan. He finds Young. I do remember when they first planned on building this stadium, the comment from the Premier at the time, Colin Barnett, was, we don't need a roof because it doesn't rain a lot here in the West. And yet all it's done this year is rain and rain and rain and rain.
Yeah, last 6 weeks, been horrific, hasn't it?
They have, as far as WA weather's concerned. Mark taken by the Lions. They had it left half forward. This is Leicester. Puts it back into the left forward pocket. No mark taken. Ball pinballs around. Matheson got a hand pass out. McCarthy hand passed over the shoulder. Missed his target. Ryan was there. Somebody get a hand pass out again. Came towards Ace. He'll kick the Dockers towards right half back. Tracy, good mark. Between two lines. He did have the height advantage, but certainly there was some body contact when he took the grab. And he'll stab the ball short. And here is Bewley. He's onto the ground as the medical sub. Fremantle are going to lose, just a matter of how much by. The Lions lead by 59 points, 12 gone in the last.
Bewley short to Aish. Thumps it long to half forward. Andrews comes up, 2 hands to it, doesn't complete the mark at ground level. Sarong. Bewley gets involved with the handball again. Sarong slick hands to Chera. Out to Mundy. Runs around his man. Handball to Walker. 51 out. Kicks into the pocket. It doesn't get to Schultz, but goes through the hands of the Brisbane defender. Out the back for Henry. He's tackled there by Tommy Berry, who's into the game and doing a good defensive job there. Averts the danger. Throw in left forward pocket for the Lions. 59 points their advantage. For the Dockers, rather. 59 points the Lions' advantage, though.
Throwing in. McInerney front position. Won it down. McCluggage gets a kick away despite being tackled. It's up into the air. Marked by Blake. He must have been touched on the way through. Forced a hand pass away to Mundy. Then moves it on again. Kicking in kick. This is Weston up in the air towards goal. Punched through. Right on the behind, rather the goal line. I do beg your pardon. A minor score for Fremantle. 6-5-41 the Dockers, 15-9-99 the Lions. Brisbane a point shy of what would be the 8th time this season they brought up the 3 figures.
Rich whacks it long to the wing. No mark taken. Blakely gathers it, bursts through them all, kicks Freo back inside 50, trying to find Taberner. Out the back it goes. Schultz tracks it to the pocket. He's worried out of it by Starcevic, who does just enough to hold up Schultz and not concede a free kick. Throw in right forward pocket. Umpire spins it back in. McInerney in front. Comes down to Croden, gives it off to Schultz. Flying shot on goal, missing. Right hand side. Back to 57 points, Brisbane's advantage. 15-9-99 play, 6-6-42. Quarter hour mark of the fourth.
As we stand, percentage damage done to Fremantle, quite significant. They've dropped from 8 at the start of the round down to 12th. Dropping below St Kilda, Richmond and Essendon with this result today. The Lions have it on centre wing. Cameron decides to go right back to left half back. Try marks and then gives it again towards Cameron. Shearer stands the mark for him. So Cameron kicks towards left half forward. Good mark again, Darcy. State tried to get there, couldn't affect the spoil. Darcy stood his ground, dragged in the football.
He's tried hard, the big fella today.
Probably I'm prepared to say the most improved player in 2021. Kick towards right half forward, off hands down to Sarong. Tackled the moment he received the football. No opportunity to get rid of it. Tackling coming again from Lions. It'll be a ball up. Just shy of right half forward. Darcy does get there just in time to win the tap down. Brisbane get a clearing kick away from Archie. Lands in the centre square. Spills out here for the Lions again. Oh, great tackle coming from Tucker. Not rewarded with a free kick though. Was able to lock up his opponent. The ball spills away in the middle of the ground. Lions dives over the top and then he's taken high by Brayshaw. And Brisbane will get the free kick and have it just shy of halfway in the centre square. Brisbane 15-9, the Dockers 6-6, 17 gone in the fourth.
Lions goes laterally to Rich. One of 4 West Aussies in the team for Brisbane today. Short to another of those. Chi came through the South Fremantle system, somewhat underneath the Dockers' nose as he kicks towards half forward. McStay goes up, unable to take the mark. Sarong picks it up off the deck. Handball back to Bewley for the Dockers, chips it over the top. And Young marks just in front of Birchall. Bites off the kick into the middle. It'll have to be good. It is.
Great mark.
It's perfect for Tracy, who still had to take a contested mark. Now he shifts it out to the southern wing. Blakely has to do the same. He's impeded. Weston picks it up, looks inside 50. Shocking kick. Turns it straight over. Andrews marks for Brisbane. Moves it to Lions. 57 points Brisbane's advantage. 17 minutes and change into the final term.
Kickers towards right half back. Danaher runs straight into Pearce. Tried to bounce a hand pass along the boundary line and couldn't manage it.
Something a bit different.
It was. Well, I suppose if you kick 4 goals and your team's up by 57 odd points, you can try what you like. Not exactly what he was hoping for. From the throw-in, the Dockers, can they get it away? Blakely tried to work it towards Mundy, couldn't gather. Coleman was there. Came through Zorko, and then a kick from Matheson towards right half forward. McCarthy sliding out, couldn't mark, and got tackled. Is he over the boundary line? It's a ball up or a throw-in. I think it might be a ball up, yes. Just tackled about a metre in from the boundary at right half forward, southern side of the ground. Lions works. One down by Meek. Trying to emerge with it here is Brayshaw, tackled immediately by Matheson.
I've loved what Tom Berry's done since he's been on the ground. You know, they're 10 goals up. He's playing 1 quarter, he's sitting on the bench for 3 quarters, but just his intent and his tackle pressure, his ability to work.
Meek wins it down, bounces off Tom Berry's shoulder. Came to Forden, kicked up into the air. It's there again. Chance for McCluggage, gets a bouncing kick towards full foot. Oh, McStay, that's so clever. He just tapped it and then running onto its Cameron, who runs in and bangs it through from the goal square. He gets his second. McStay knew he couldn't gather, so he just tapped it into the path of Cameron, who hit it at speed, and he brings up the 3 figures for the Brisbane Lions. 16-9, 105. Fremantle 6-6, 42. 19 gone in the last on Grandstand AFL on ABC Radio, News Radio and ABC Sport Digital.
The grubber ball from McCluggage I loved, and just that death tap to the little tap from McStay in the path to Cameron. Put it out in front and did what he does best.
It's game awareness, isn't it?
It is.
Very clever.
He was aware enough too, Cameron, that as he banged it through, couldn't go low and flat. That would have hit a family member sitting behind the goal. He had to pop it high as he whacked it through from the goal line.
There's a few high fives in the way.
Yeah, a few fake high fives. Tapping his own hands, pretending he was. In the middle. We'll go again. 63 points the advantage. Brisbane rediscovering their groove. A free kick in the middle. So Fullerton to get it, doing some of the ruck work, chips it short to Archie. Brisbane get the takeaway from the middle. Archie goes long inside 50, trying to find a marker. No one's able to drag it in off hands. Lowe gets it, he's gang tackled. And another ball up. A ball up in the right forward pocket. Here for the Lions. Meek takes it out of the ruck, gives it off to Walker. He thumps it into the middle of the ground. Tracy stands tall, takes the mark in the middle of Perth Stadium for the Dockers.
Sweeps a hand pass to Bewley. He runs through the centre square. The kick was poor though. He wanted Collier. Instead, just floating across in front to take the mark was Lester for the Lions at centre half back. Brisbane will come up the corridor. It's moved to Matheson, now to Rich. Long kick inside forward 50. He's looking for Cameron again. The ball bounces away from him. It's over for a throw-in in the left forward pocket.
Very good Daniel Rich today off half-back. Just penetrating kick, whether from the back half or going in inside 50.
26 touches, and that's the first one that hasn't hit a target. Not a bad day out.
He's been terrific, Daniel Rich. It's one down here by the Dockers, and they get a clearing kick beyond defensive 50 from Bewley. Only as far as Rich, though, and he marks it left half forward for Brisbane. You know what a big kick he is. 70 from goal. Likes to stab it into the left forward pocket. Proving again he's human. He's turned it over that time. Commentators curse at the back of the box.
2 in a row, mate, and take care of the football.
Exactly right. Brayshaw, who marks defensively in the right back pocket, he'll switch play. And he moves it to Young, who'll go short again to Brayshaw. He's got it beyond defensive 50 with the kick to Pearce.
His disposal efficiency's gone from 100% down to 93 with those two kicks. Pearce at left half back for the Dockers.
Stats are so cruel.
We'll entertain ourselves late in this one. 63 points the lead as Pearce goes short to Aish. Still virtually at left half back. Free kick downfield or 50. Something off the ball. Neither of you two see it?
No.
Anyone up here?
No.
Aish march to the wing, kicks into the corridor. Taken by Walker. Walker looks inside 50. Goes into the pocket for Taberner, launching at it. Andrews gets his fist to it. Out towards the boundary line it goes. Bewley can't gather. Gets bumped out. A throw in 45 around from the attacking goal for the Dockers. 16-9, 105 Brisbane. Fremantle 6-6, 42. 23 travelled. Final term Grandstand AFL.
Ball spun back into play. Short throw in though. Emerges in the hands of Young. He's at right half forward. He'll kick towards full forward. Tracy coming out. Couldn't mark. Ball pinballs around. Leicester tried to slap it out. It goes to Collier though of the Dockers. Shares it with Blakely. Back to Collier. Spun away from one. Got away from a second. And then a third. And then kicks on goal. And he puts it through for a major. He's got 3. Fremantle celebrating their first goal of the final term. 7-6, 48. Brisbane 16-9, 105. Brisbane's lead cut to 57 points at the 24-minute mark of the last. And the crowd is through. 29,589 in on a wet day in the West.
He's tried hard today, Trav Collier.
Yes.
not an easy role to play, a high forward. Sometimes can be very unrewarding. But going to kick his third today. It's a fine day with his 15 disposals.
It was a good goal too.
It was.
Spun one way, then the other, just refused to be caught and then had to finish.
+5 inside 50s today. Fremantle just been not very effective at all when they go forward.
McInerney wins the tap down to Lyons, who gives it to Zorko. Kicks Brisbane inside 50. Off hands, it slews into the pocket. Close to the boundary line, knocking it in. Cockatoo, now he follows up again. Paddles it towards McCluggage. There to pick up Tucker for the Dockers. Handball to Brayshaw. Hands it away to Mundy, who gives it to Walker, who shanks it out of bounds on the full. So Brisbane to get it back at left half forward. 16-9, 105 to 7-6, 48. Brisbane are going to win out west. Zorko kicks inside 50. Young drops the mark, but Aish is there for the Dockers. Handball away to Chera under pressure. It's a handball towards Brayshaw. Has to go and pick it up. Now he's under pressure. Does well. Gets around a would-be tackler. Handball to Mundy, who drops it. Allows in McCluggage for the Lions. Handball to McInerney. Bailey, 30 out. Pulls the trigger. Kicks the goal.
Point.
Bailey's got 3. Oh, it's
Point,
hit the post. It's nicked the post on the way through. I was so excited.
An exciting point.
I just thought he'd finish. He's that good a player, Zach Bailey, not to be. 58 points the advantage for the Lions.
That was a thrilling point. Fremantle move it towards right half back, but Leicester takes a good mark for the Lions. They've had contributors everywhere today. Comes to Rich. Commentary edge of the centre circles, kicks across the ground, finds Birchall. Stabs it to Danaher. Big Joe with 4 today as well. Tells everyone, let's just calm things down. This game is in our keeping. Let's rack up a few more stats. To Andrews it goes. He marks, moves it short. Lions moving down, takes the mark, back to Birchall. Kicks Brisbane into the right forward pocket. Cameron flew, couldn't mark. And affects the tackle on Ryan. Ball slapped out the side. Here's a chance, McCarthy wheeling around. He snaps towards goal. He kicks it as well.
How much cleaner have they been today than Fremantle? Just off the ground.
He's kicked his third, McCarthy. Just vacuumed it up. Snapped truly from the right forward pocket and 35 metres out. They have 17 Brisbane. 17-10, 112. Fremantle 7-6, 48. Before we hear from Cara and Shane, Bridget Lacey downstairs.
Yeah, Dan McStay's come off and he's been having a right hand issue looked at by the doc, and we believe it's a hamstring problem for Nathan Wilson, but waiting for absolute confirmation on that from Fremantle. So he's been in the wars today, Nathan Wilson.
Darcy Tucker, ground level cover in D50, decided to roll off McCarthy and just wicket keep behind the ball and just, front and centre, really easy goal for him.
McInerney straight to Lyons, who kicks Brisbane to half forward. Danaher hacks it out of midair, looking for Fullerton, can't drag in the mark. Then it comes out the back. Nakai Cockatoo swoops on the loose footy, gathers, snaps in one motion and goals. Nakai Cockatoo has 2. 18-10, 118 to 7-6, 48. 28 minutes into the 4th. And it's a runaway train now. 70 points.
Getting very ugly now for Fremantle.
Far too easy.
It's great to see Cockatoo back on the park end, isn't it?
It is.
He's such a talented player, and there's big signs with him at Geelong. Fresh start up in Brisbane. Interrupted year. Hopefully get some continuity. In September, he'll be very dangerous inside the forward half for Brisbane. Just pressure. They just hunt. Continually come at the ball all the time, the Brisbane forwards.
Their biggest win of the year, 78 points as it stands in round 9 against the Gold Coast. At the moment, they still need to get a wriggle on. They lead by 70 points. Still a couple of minutes to go. And they kick 2 more. They'll hack it out of the middle. Hurried kick towards left half forward. To McInerney, won the hit out. Tucker's there to mop up. Gave it to Aish. Now to Mundy for Fremantle. Hand pass to Sarong. Run down. Did he get a push in the back? Push. Yes. I thought it was. Despairing effort trying to get there from Cockatoo. But it was a push. So Sarong quickly kicks towards right half forward. Marking there, Chera. Plays on by hand to Bewley. He goes looking for Henry, who lost his footing just when he didn't want to and allowed Starcevic to get in front. And he'll take the defensive mark for the Lions. And from the left back pocket, he'll kick towards left half back. Fullerton up. Couldn't get his fingertips to the footy. At the back, it's with Aish. Moves it to Bewley.
Bewley turns and kicks inside 50. Leaping at the football. Henry, he's unable to take the mark. It's fisted out of play. We'll get a throw in at the junction of 50 and the boundary line.
Chris Fagan will be pretty happy today with his team's performance.
Set to be Fremantle's biggest defeat under Justin Longmuir. From the throw in, McInerney flicks it to the back, coming through Bewley. Gets a handball away, bouncing ball towards Tracy. 45 out, gets it on to Collier, who kicks into the pocket. Henry marks. 25 metres out, just in from the field, or just in the field of play. And he'll snap across his body to try and save a little bit of face for Fremantle.
This is interesting too, by the way. Fremantle have used all their interchanges and Darcy's off the ground, so they can't get him back on if they did want to in the last few minutes.
So snapping around the corner, Henry puts it through. Shows a little bit of his skill. 8-6-54 Fremantle. Brisbane 18-10, 118, 64 points is the margin now, which would equal the biggest ever defeat handed to Fremantle under Justin Longmuir.
Picked it to the advantage there of Henry, and again, hasn't really happened a lot today for Fremantle. The +3 inside forward 50s and trailing the game by 64 points. So haven't made the most of their opportunities, but a lovely finish from Henry and a nice snap-on goal.
Hang on, I've made a mistake. Happens regularly. 69 points against Geelong. This actually improves on that, so it'll be their second biggest defeat.
It's still painful if you're a Fremantle supporter, as McInerney just spikes it forward. McCluggage, they move it quickly again. Brisbane towards full forward. Throwing it on the boot there was Lyons. The Dockers can clear. Ryan was there. Kick towards left half back. Brisbane have got numbers there again. Tomberry to Matheson. Now towards Zorko. Kicks into the right forward pocket. No mark taken. Aish shares it with Ryan. Brisbane rediscover some winning form. A thumping win to the Lions, who climb up into 5th, while the Dockers surrender their spot in the 8th. Brisbane victorious by 64 points.
We will always fight for victory, like Fitzroy and Bears of old. All for one and one for all. We will answer to the call. Go Lions, Brisbane Lions, we'll kick the winning score. You'll hear a mighty roar. We are the pride of Brisbane town. We wear maroon, blue and gold. We will always fight for victory, like Fitzroy and Bears of old. All for one and one for all. We will answer to the call. Go Lions, Brisbane Lions, we'll kick the winning score. You'll hear a mighty roar. You'll hear a mighty roar.
So the question continues across the AFL. Who does want 8th spot? Fremantle started the week in there, but what a costly loss this is. Not just the defeat, but in terms of percentage. They've slipped down to 12th overall, and their percentage that was 90.9 all of a sudden is 87.7. So they've fallen below St Kilda as well. The Giants, very comfortable after their big win on Friday night against the Cats in 8th for the time being. Brisbane should be absolutely delighted. They've climbed above Sydney, who had the shock loss to the Saints yesterday. Brisbane climbing up into 5th spot, and a healthy percentage boost as well. Then battle with Sydney for that 5th and 6th spot. Brisbane's percentage now 128.1, and that's an improvement from 124.6, while Sydney's is 115%. So this was a big win for the Brisbane Lions. Big result no matter what happened, as we said right at the start of our coverage. Brisbane by 64 points. The goal kickers for Brisbane, Danaher with 4, McCarthy kicked 3, and then Cockatoo with 2, Cameron with 2, McStay with 2, Bailey with 2, McInerney with 2, and Zorko kicked 1. While for Fremantle, 3 to Travis Collier, singles to Darcy, Tabiner, Meek, Henry and Tracy. But Brisbane, who desperately needed a win, they were without one, or should I say, beg your pardon, just the one win since the injury to Eric Hipwood. They'd lost 3 of their past 4. They've come to a state they don't win at all that often, and they've had a huge victory over the Fremantle Dockers. What did you make of it, Cara Antonio and Shane Woden on Grandstand AFL?
Oh, they got smacked from stoppage. Fremantle today, I think. And also in their back half, they scored 13 goals, 4 in their front half, Brisbane, today. So, again, the pressure wasn't good enough. They just allowed Brisbane too much time and space. They laid the 35 tackles today. Their efficiency going forward wasn't at the standard. So 8 goals, 6. That's 14 shots from 53 entries. So their front half connection, the ability to score when going in there. They've got the most potent forward line, Fremantle, and that's a personnel thing. But Brisbane were very good. You know, as Clint just said earlier, 4 weeks haven't been great. They've been playing their best footy, but got a good response on the road. You know, a bit of time away as a group. Maybe a few ominous signs for the rest of the competition going into September. And hopefully this just starts to kickstart a little bit of form at the back end, and they can take some confidence out of this, knowing that they've beaten a team that plays pretty well here at Optus, and but convincingly.
Yeah, they were fantastic today, Brisbane. From the get-go, they had a really disappointing loss last week against the Hawks, and you know, we had a chat pre-game, what Brisbane were we going to see today, and we know that they thrive on the pressure. That's their game plan in a nutshell, and they were good early, kicked 6 in the first and then 4 for each quarter from then on in, and just their ability to tackle, like plus 36 tackles for the game, you know, 25 of those inside forward 50, just their ability to create scoring opportunities from their pressure was outstanding, and no doubt that would have been the focus for the week, their intensity around the contest, their hunger, and their pressure, and I mentioned it at 3/4 time, led from the front from their captain. I thought the skipper was fantastic. 34 touches, he's in and under work, his contested possession work was fantastic, and they'd be happy, very, very happy with that result. It obviously boosts their percentage, which is quite healthy now, and sets them up for the last couple of games. And on the flip side, you know, in Fremantle's court, they had an opportunity today and they probably let one slip. You know, Brisbane have been poor over the last 4 weeks, as we've already discussed, and they just didn't turn up, really. The first kind of 5 minutes were good. The first 5 to 8 minutes in the third quarter were good, but Brisbane were a class above today, I thought, in and around the contest. Efficiency going inside forward 50 and conversion. A much better team on the day.
They certainly were. It's good to see that they played a bit of an attacking brand too, whether they took down the line or they tried to attack through the corridor, kick 120 points, 118 points for a game. It was very good today, and they had a lot of winners across the field, both ends of the ground, through the middle. Just a real even team performance, and they had some standouts, no doubt, but Chris Fagan would be really, really impressed with what I was doing. So Coleman comes in. He hasn't done much, but comes in, plays a role. Their backs were really dominant down there, whether it's their running backs to be able to provide something and attack, or their aerial dominance to kill the 40. But well led by Dane Zorko, and their senior players, stood up when it was counted.
Mitch Robinson ended up, looking worse for wear at the end. A problem, we believe, with the calf, the reason he was subbed out. You mentioned a couple of times during the game some of the things that he does to actually provide an impact around the ground. If they miss him, let's say it's a calf, you're looking 2-3 weeks, what does that do for them for their run home? They've got games, nominally at the moment, Collingwood at the Gabba and West Coast at the Gabba. No matter what happens, we'll find out. But certainly Collingwood and West Coast are their last 2 games of the season. They would fancy their chances, you think, against both of those sides, the way that they're travelling on that performance.
Oh, definitely. Absolutely. And Mitch Robinson will always be a huge out. He plays the wing role very well. He's able to press the field when needed and slide back and need and help his defence out too. But again, most teams now will just know soldier for soldier, comes in, plays a role, get the job done until he's ready to come back in. He's a battering ram, isn't he? His physicality, what he provides for his team, he's done his whole career. So at times he's brave, at times he's downright silly how he attacks the footy, but he just gives you a lift because you know what you're going to get week in, week out from him, and I think that's why his teammates love him so much, and you need them in your team, don't you?
Oh, you do, and he's the barometer for their pressure and intensity around the ground. You definitely do. I think he gave away a few free kicks, but it was, I don't mind that because it sets a tone for the team, and no doubt he will be missed in this Brisbane lineup, but they'll have someone ready to go to fill the void, and hopefully it's not too long that he's sitting on the sidelines, because I think you mentioned he's out of contract at the end of the year. I'd definitely sign him up again for at least a 1-year deal, because he brings a lot to the Brisbane lineup for sure.
Brisbane's captain today, we mentioned it during the call, but the form that they've been in, the slide down the ladder, for Dane Zorko's performance today was quite remarkable. And I know we'll go through the numbers in more detail, but 34 disposals, 10 tackles, 17 contested possessions, 7 clearances and 11 inside 50s. There were a great spread of performances, but that was something to behold. Let's head down into the Brisbane rooms for the Brisbane Club song. Every member of the staff across here for Brisbane in the club circle, and Nakia Cockatoo in his first win in Brisbane colours in the centre, getting, of course, a bit of the sport drink shower to go on with. So 2 goals for him today. But, I just want to particularly talk about what Zorko was able to do, because, the old cliche, the captain's performance, I thought he was tremendous today.
Oh, outstanding. With Lachie Neale being out too, who's the reigning Brownlow medalist and a very, very good player, but just to be able to take a little bit of slack there but play a role, he did everything, didn't he? Whether it's inside or outside the contest, and what he lifted, and as Cara said earlier in the call, just to be able to go, boys, jump on my back and I'll lead you to victory, and through actions, which is all you want, but again, playing his role, doing what he needed to do in the contest. But 816 metres gained is very good. And weather helps, because you're just going to surge it at times, but terrific today. Led from the front.
You're someone who was at the Brisbane Lions and probably watched them very closely. We might hold that thought.
Just pause on that for a moment. Let's head down into the Brisbane rooms. I reckon the last time we spoke to Daniel Rich, he was, in lockdown and building a swing set for his kids. I reckon it's a much better way to chat to him after a performance like that from the Brisbane Lions. Congratulations, Daniel. Good to talk to you here on ABC.
Yeah, no worries. Thanks for having me.
What impressed you the most about today? We know the pressure that the club was under after some recent performances, and then to turn things around like that. But from your perspective, what stood out?
Oh, I think it was a pretty rounded performance in the end. The pressure around the ball was super, and when we went forward, it was exactly the same. The forwards did the same thing. So, as a defender, that's all you can ask. And I know we've well and truly copped it the last couple of weeks, which is probably duly deserved. But it was good in a way to spend a week away together and knock her down and put a performance in like that.
Daniel, son, it's Wowie up here, mate. How are you, buddy?
Good, mate. Good to hear your voice.
Yeah, great to hear you. Mate, what have you been doing in lockdown over here? I see that on Insta, a few of the boys been playing some silly games with the basketball and a few trick shots whilst in lockdown.
Yeah, there's obviously a bit more time than when we got back in Brisbane, especially with a couple of kids running around my feet. But yeah, we were half the week at Joondalup Resort, and then the last half were at the Mature in the city, so a little bit less room there. But we're a pretty tight-knit group and enjoy, I suppose, doing things outside of footy together, and that was some of the things we were doing. But I suppose the main focus during the week was when we're doing our footy, let's knuckle down and get to work. But in that away time, spend it together and have some fun, because at the end of the day, it is a game. We all want to win, but it's hard to do that every week.
What's been the missing link the last month, mate? I know there's been a bit of criticism outside of the group and how you're playing right now, but what's been the one or two things that hasn't been the way that you've been wanting to play, but certainly maybe today that you fixed a couple of things up?
Yeah, I think it was that energy and that tackle pressure around the ball, and then obviously when it goes inside our forward half as well, that tackle pressure to keep it in and get to work from there. I think in recent weeks there's been a bit slack with that, and it's come back out as quick as it's gone in.
Mate, with Lockie out today, it's obviously a huge loss, but I thought your captain today, Dane, was impressive all day and certainly led from the front and asked the group to join him, and he certainly was that and a catalyst really for the performance of the group today.
Oh, absolutely. He's led from the front all week. He's that little energiser bunny who he gets to work on the field, but he's the first to have a laugh behind closed doors. So, yeah, you're spot on. He led from the front.
Daniel, Cara Antonio here. Fantastic win and an individual performance from yourself. Just on the back of Wowie's question, your captain Zorko, what kind of captain is he? Obviously, we can see from afar his ability to hunt the ball, to tackle, to pressure inside. But what type of captain is he, and what did he say before the game? Because I feel like he had a real point to prove tonight out there for you guys.
Yeah, he's the kind of captain that, as I said before, like when we knuckle down and we're at training or gym or whatever it might be, it's time to get to work. But he's the first one to have a joke and a laugh and keep things relaxed when we're away from that footy environment. And on the field, I think his pressure and all that, I think he's top three, if not number one in the comp, and he has been for a long time. And I think that's probably underrated outside of our four walls. But when your captain's doing that stuff, you can't help but go on his back.
Oh, absolutely. And for you, I suppose 28 disposals. I was watching the champion data in front of me, and at one stage, I think you had 25 touches at 100% efficiency. You ended up at 93, so not bad. But your ability off the halfback, your penetration in your kicks and your ability to set up, I suppose, from the rebound 50s. How much fun do you have back there with the likes of obviously Harris Andrews helping you down there, Birchall in the back half? How much are you enjoying your footy at the moment?
Oh, more than ever, and it's probably been the last few years when I've kind of felt that way. But the group's a pleasure to spend time with. I'm obviously one of the older statesmen, but I'm lucky enough to have a couple more years after this one here, and hopefully we can, I suppose, achieve what we want to achieve. But I really enjoy going in through the doors every day and getting to work with a great bunch of guys. And can't complain. It's probably the best job in the world.
So you've got a couple more years, Daniel. That is tremendous news for someone who's, as we've mentioned in the past, has had to battle so long with Brisbane to be at the club when things are taking an upwards turn.
Yeah, it's exciting that the club extended me by a year. I think it was earlier this year, and I've already hit a little trigger to get another year. So I'm lucky enough to be able to call Brisbane and the Lions my home place that I've played all my footy at and really love. And I'm quite proud that I've stuck to that and come out the other side. And the last few years have been going really well. So long way to go. But as I said, I'm just loving walking through the four doors each day.
Do you have any idea yet, and I would expect the answer's no, but we're still always curious with what's happening with your games against Collingwood and West Coast? Have you got any idea where they'll be played and what the situation is?
No, we don't, to be honest. The club's been really open and honest, but I think it gets to a point where you got to let the boys focus on the game. And I think at this point we're staying in WA for a couple more days just to let the AFL and the governments around Australia get to work and figure out that side of things. But as a player, you can't really speculate and look too far ahead because, as we all know, it changes day by day. So we'll just enjoy the win and enjoy some time together over here in good old WA. And wait to hear what we're doing next week.
Do you get to catch up with any family or friends? What are you allowed to do, or are you in quarantine?
Yeah, not much. We're in quarantine at the Mature Hotel, so we're pretty much like international arrivals, to be honest. But that's okay. There's a good contingent here. As I said, we're a pretty tight knit group of guys and support staff, and we'll make do with that for now.
No, that's okay. I just realised how silly that question was as I was asking it, Richie. So I apologise.
Would have been frustrating, mate, having to be at Joondalup and not be able to get the sticks out and whack 9 holes around the quarry.
Yeah, you're spot on. That's my favourite course in Australia, that one. I love it. But that's okay. Another time.
Appreciate your time, Daniel. It's always great to have a chat with you. Welcome back to the West. Hopefully next time you get here, you get a chance to wander around and play Joondalup and a couple of the other golf courses.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for the chat.
Good on you. Daniel Rich joining us here on Grandstand AFL after his team had an unbelievable win. What a result it was for Brisbane. 18-10, 118 to Fremantle, 8-6-54. A thumping 64-point win to the Brisbane Lions. Our thanks to Daniel Rich downstairs. And I mentioned the two very winnable games if you were Brisbane, having a look at what's ahead of you, Collingwood and West Coast. You wonder whether or not they might have flipped those games, Collingwood and West Coast.
Leave them here.
Yeah, leave Brisbane here, flip them around, West Coast. But obviously that's not going to happen because we're already seeing ads on the big screen here for Fremantle's home game next weekend against West Coast.
Anything can happen though, can't it?
That's true, but I would understand why also Fremantle will be going, hang on, we'll be having the Derby next week, thanks, and we'll be locking that in.
Just be interesting what day that'll be played.
Yeah.
The Derby.
Yeah, the expectation seems to be Saturday night from the reports.
5-day turnaround for West Coast.
That's their one of the year.
Okay.
So every team gets one.
And the AFLPA haven't budged on that.
No.
So the story goes that the AFLPA were keen to have the quarters shortened like we'd had, or not extended back out, given what we had last year. And when they basically have said to the AFL, well, each team will only have one 5-day break then, and haven't budged on it.
Let's head downstairs into the Fremantle rooms as well. I think Hayden Young is with us. Hayden, welcome.
G'day, everybody. Thanks for having me.
Terrific to have a chat with you. We'd love to have spoken to you last week. Well done on last week's performance and the Rising Star Award. It was well deserved. How difficult and frustrating was today for you, though?
Yeah, it was pretty frustrating. Obviously, we were happy with last week's performance and we were hoping to sort of keep that momentum going, but we came up against a pretty mature and well-trained Brisbane team who, dominated around the contest and applied really good pressure, and we just weren't able to handle it as well as we would have liked. But I think we've got a lot that we can learn from the game, and hopefully we can keep developing and keep improving.
After it was, 2 goals apiece and it looked like it was going to be a shootout, they seem to be able to raise the pressure and the intensity around the contest. And again, it's really easy to say from up here, but Fremantle looked to sort of struggle with that. Is that how it felt downstairs?
Yeah, the heat in the front half particularly was pretty intense, and we just struggled to control the ball and gain field position, and from that, we had some unfortunate turnovers and in our front half that resulted in goals. They got lucky with a few 50-metre penalties, and things like that, which got them going. But we weren't able to handle their pressure as well as we would have liked, and that resulted in them getting a lot of momentum. And then from there, it was really hard to sort of take control of the game again.
Commiserations on the defeat today, mate. They certainly were the far better team today. Was there any conversations around the group today, and particularly from the coach committee, that and Brisbane's defence was very good, but the inability just to shift the footy and get it to the open side and try and change lanes and work the ball differently in different angles today?
Yeah, we spoke about it briefly after the game. We spoke about their defence being able to stand up really well to our pressure and just control the ball and shift and maintain possession, which is something that we failed to do. So we can probably take a leaf out of their book and just, we needed to be more composed with ball in hand and look to shift their defence, because they're a pretty good line of ball team. They roll off and take intercept marks, and I think we just sort of played into their hands a bit. So it's something we'll address during the week and look to improve on next week.
Hayden, Cara Antonio here. Commiserations on the loss. I suppose the one positive that the boys can take from the game is the group that's going to take this club forward, and I suppose the experience in the games that you're putting into your list. Your Brayshaws, Cheras, Sarongs, Tracy, Henrys, and yourself. How important is that moving this group forward?
Yeah, I think it's really important. Obviously, we'd love to have our key players and more experienced players out on the track, but it gives our young players an opportunity to sort of take the reins, and it gives an insight into what the future will look like. So it's pretty exciting when you see Sean Darcy in the ruck with Sarong, Cher and Brayshaw. So that's a little insight to the future, and it's good that we're getting this opportunity, but we still want to be playing good footy and getting some wins.
Now, next week's derby, all going to plan. Now, we both know that it's not like any other game. It's not a normal game of footy for the players or for the state or fans. I know you're probably your mind's still in this game and processing what's just happened, but looking forward to next weekend, what are you most looking forward to about taking on the Eagles?
Yeah, I think it's another good opportunity for us to play against a quality opposition who are far more experienced than us. So it's a good challenge for our young group, and I'm just looking forward to playing in front of a WA crowd, which will be really exciting. I'm sure the atmosphere will be electric, and hopefully it's a good performance for the boys.
Correct me if I'm wrong here. Is your first derby, Hayden? Would that be right?
That is correct.
So, do you look forward to it with a little bit more anticipation, having been around the club now and actually understanding what derbies are like and how it is that lift in intensity, and it is as close to a finals-like atmosphere as you can get without being a final?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. All of the boys talk about the derby as being one of the best games of the year for the club. So I'm looking forward to being out there, and hopefully the Freo faction can get behind us and we can create good energy within the group and get a win.
Hayden, I'm not blaming you for this, but there would be an expectation that there's a little better intensity and effort brought, particularly with the tackling. Finish minus 36 in that stat, despite having a fair bit less of the football than Brisbane. What can you put that down to, and what was said about it by Justin Longmuir and the coaching staff?
Yeah, we just spoke about our intensity at the contest being down. They brought great heat, and even though they controlled a lot of the ball, we weren't able to stick our tacklers, which is something we've been working pretty hard on. So it's disappointing, but it's something that, as I said, we've been working hard on. So we'll keep working on it throughout the week, and just keep developing, and something that I'm sure will be a focus going into next week. Just make sure that we're really strong in the contest and make them earn it.
Hayden, an easier one for you, I guess. You're a beautiful kick of the football. Where does that originate from?
My old man will try to claim it, but it's definitely not him.
I do say that kicking's hereditary.
I don't think so. But
did he teach you to kick? Did your dad teach you to kick?
Oh yeah, he claims he does, but I think it was me and my brothers. We spent a lot. I have two brothers, so we spent a lot of time kicking the footy together. And I think, just over the years, all the kicks accumulated, and that's sort of why, I suppose.
one of which is in the AFL, of course. I think it was Sharrod who said this, so I hope I'm not throwing the wrong person under the bus, but he loves you kicking and you're a wonderful kicker of the football. One thing he said is he thinks you can quicken it slightly from hand to foot. What's your response to that? Is that something you're working on?
Yeah, I think something I'm definitely working on is probably getting my feet organised a bit quicker and not trying to rush myself. I think I had one early in the game where I saw one through the corridor and probably tried to kick it too quickly. So yeah, I think hand to foot's important, but if I can get my feet organised, sort of get momentum through the ball, it's something that I'm always looking to keep improving on.
There you go, close Sharrod, but not quite. He just needs to get his feet set first and foremost.
Hayden Young, a couple of very quick ones before we let you go, and some random ones. We very rarely get a chance to speak to the person who's involved in the pocket profile in the AFL record on the same day the pocket profile bobs up. Did you fill this in yourself? Is it true you actually, we know sometimes players actually pass them around. Did you fill in the pocket profile yourself?
I did. I actually, Adam Chera was reading it out to me in the rooms today. So I actually forgot some of the answers I put down, so I was surprised with some of the things he was telling to me. So I do remember doing that. It was a long time ago, but it's funny that it's popped up this week.
It is. I did want to know, is learning guitar, is it something that you're still doing?
It is a bit. I think it sort of started from a rehab hobby. I've had a few too many injuries, so I had to keep myself busy while I was in rehab. So I've been plucking at the guitar a little bit, but nothing special.
Always interesting to know. And one last one, you mentioned all the youngsters beforehand. It is great to see them coming through. Do you all pile on Adam Chera and try and lock him down and get him to sign? Are those discussions happening?
We support Adam and his decision. Obviously, we'd love him to stay, but at the moment, I think you can say that he's really invested in the club and he wants to see out and have a really good year. So I'm not sure what he'll do at the end of the year, but I'd definitely love him to stay, and I'm sure all the other boys do as well.
Appreciate your time. We'd much rather always have a chat with you after a win, but nevertheless, congratulations on the Rising Star nomination for last week, and we look forward to seeing you in your first derby next weekend.
All right, thanks for having me, guys.
Good on you. Hayden Young joining us from downstairs in the Fremantle rooms. We'll touch base with the Brisbane Lions and their press conference in just a moment. We'll also get the votes in the ABC Footballer of the Year and the Christian Medal, but let's have a look at all those numbers. Ben going through a few of them a short time ago, but just give us the overarching view. Ben Cameron.
Yeah, as has been the thread throughout. So Brisbane had more of the football, 372 disposals to 338, but in spite of that, they were out-tackled by 36, 71 to 35, which is relatively damning. The inside 50s are relatively even. Fremantle won that 53 to 52. Contested possessions +6 for Brisbane. Clearances +4 Brisbane. Leading individual ball winners, Sarong with 30 led the way for Fremantle. Mundy 28. Zorko with 34, which we spoke about. 816 metres gained, 11 inside 50s. And 17 contested possessions with 7 clearances. Fair old day for Dane Zorko, McCluggage and Lyons, both with 29 for Brisbane.
How have we voted, Cara? Wowie?
All right, so we have gone the one for Hugh McCluggage.
This is the ABC Footballer of the Year, of course. Yep.
So with the 29 disposals, 593 metres gained was fantastic. Number 2 votes, Daniel Rich. Outstanding. We read out his stats just before, and the 3 goes to the captain, Zorko. He was fantastic. Benny just read out all his stats, stole my thunder, but
if you
incredible.
didn't give him the 3 votes, I would have walked home from the game today.
Very good. And with good reason. The Christian Medal may have been a bit more of a challenge today. 3, 2 and 1 for the Christian Medal.
Yeah, a little tough, but we've gone the 1 for Chera. Thought he was solid for the 4 quarters. The 2 to Darcy, again having such great impact in and around the ball, 29 hit-outs, and his ability to obviously take those contested marks all over the ground. In the 3, I thought Sarong, 30 disposals, 7 marks, 6 inside 50, inside forward 50, 5 clearances, and 12 of his possessions were contested.
Okay, so 3 to Sarong, 2 to Darcy, 1 to Chera for the Christian medal and the ABC Football of the Year, 3 to Zorko, 2 to Rich and 1 to McCluggage. Let's, before we hear a little bit more from Shane and from Cara, let's take in a little bit of what I would imagine is going to be a delighted Chris Fagan with Brisbane beating Fremantle today by 64 points at Perth Stadium.
Really impressive performance. You must be stoked with how you started that game.
Yeah, it's always good when you're on the road to get a good start. That's the one thing you worry about. Often you get jumped by the home team, but we brought plenty of energy today, and I thought our tackling pressure was outstanding, and it was there right from the word go, and that created that scenario for us.
25 tackles inside 50 for the game. They only had 35 around the entire ground. How much of a focus was it, that forward pressure?
Oh, well, it's part of our trademark. When the Lions play well, they get the forward pressure on, and we talked a lot about that during the week. We felt like that part of our game had drifted a little bit, and so for the players to take it upon themselves to do that was really exciting. They led very well in the tackling department by their skipper Zorks, who had, I think, 10 effective tackles on the game.
Yeah, just more on Zorko. It was an amazing game by him. How inspirational is it for everyone else, I guess, just to see him going about his business?
Well, when your captain plays like that, and that's how we all needed to play, he set the best example that anyone could. So we can only tip our hat to him, I reckon, on a performance like that.
And for Danaher to get 4 goals, it's his equal biggest since moving to Brisbane. How good is that to see?
Yeah, no, he's getting better all the time. We must remember he's hardly played any football for 3 years, and this has been a big year for him, and we know that he's just going to get better and better the longer that he plays with us. And I could sense during the week that he wanted to put in a good performance today to help the team bounce back, and that's exactly what he did.
Chris, can you tell us about your week in Joondalup and how you went about getting that energy back to the team and then implementing it today?
Yeah, I suppose we focused on the people things more than we did on tactics and strategy. It was more just reminding the boys of the performances that they're actually capable of, and going back to some of our better games of the year and looking at some vision from those games, and just being very, very positive. I mean, it's been quite challenging for us. I mean, from I think round 11, what's this, round 21? We've played 2 games at the Gabba, so we've been everywhere, and sometimes that can sap a little bit of energy out of you. So we just took the positive pathway this week and tried to build our guys up and to remind them of what they're capable of and encourage them to bring that out today, which is what they've been able to do.
And do you feel like that brand that you produced today, that's your best brand going into finals? That's a finals type style of footy?
Oh, I think so. I mean, if anyone that follows the Lions and has watched any of our better games, that's how we play. We win the contested ball, we get it forward, and we put plenty of pressure on, and hopefully create enough opportunities for ourselves to kick a winning score.
Chris, just a few words about Jared Berry today. It seems as though, I don't know how much of the game he spent on Brayshaw, but early on he certainly seemed to be running with him and did a pretty important job on a decent midfielder.
He did. Andy Brayshaw's had a fantastic season, and he's still got a little bit of the ball today, but I think he averages around 8 score, assists or involvements per game, and I think he only had the 2 today, and most of the time when he got the ball, he was under a fair bit of pressure. So I thought Jared did a fantastic job for the team and helped set up our victory.
You've already touched on Zorko a little bit today, but even that first quarter, it wasn't pretty, but he just seemed dogged, as if he'd taken the past few weeks pretty personally and took it upon himself to change around and set you on the right path.
Oh, he did. I mean, I think that's our brand. We're a dogged team. I mean, that's how we like to play, and he's the best at it. And there's no doubt that in the first quarter he was hell-bent on setting the right example. I think that's a good observation.
And to win all 4 quarters, I know this time of the year and where winning quarters hasn't come easy over the past few weeks, to win all 4, was that a target today?
Oh, it's not something we talked about beforehand. We had a big focus on our hunt and on our pressure and on our energy. So that's just a byproduct of it. We didn't plan to win every quarter, that's for sure. But certainly, we're hoping to be a little bit more consistent than what we have been, because even in some of our losses, we've actually produced some good footy in those losses. We just haven't been able to do it for long enough, and today we did.
And just on the injury front, how's Mitch Robinson and what exactly has he done?
Mitch Robinson has had a bit of a history with calf injuries, and he just felt his calf was getting tighter, and so pretty much got him off the ground more to prevent an injury happening than an injury actually occurring. So that was the strategy there. Smart call by Mitch.
Yep. And what do you think his chances are of playing next week, and who else do you get back? I would have thought he's a good chance to play next week, but I haven't spoken to our medical people. I think Darcy Gardner's available again next week, and I think obviously Lockie Neal will be. He just missed today with gastro, so it'll be hard for both those boys to push the guys out of the team. We had a good even team effort tonight. It's good to have some of those A-graders coming back. I mean, Lockie's missed a lot of football this year, and Darcy's hardly played at all. So if we can get those guys up and going coming into finals, it will help us, I'm sure.
Chris Fagan downstairs in the Brisbane rooms. Coach, understandably, pretty excited, and so he should be with that win. And going into this game, of course, losing 3 of their past 4. Brisbane with a thumping 64-point win over Fremantle today. The other results, Essendon by 13 over the Western Bulldogs and Hawthorn by 19 over Collingwood. Concerns, or the key concerns, for the Western Bulldogs, also a knee injury to one of their key forwards in Josh Bruce. And well done to Peter Wright for the Bombers, who kicked 7 today. A tremendous performance from him. Let's take a little bit of Justin Longmuir's press conference. He's downstairs.
Joel, I guess what disappointed you the most today, and how did you see the match play out?
I thought our contest work, really stood out. I mean, came up against a really mature side that were hungry. Brought really good pressure, really good hunt, and we just didn't deal with it. And that's been a bit of a theme against the better sides. Is we've got a level at the moment that we can play at, and once the team brings more than that, we can't absorb it and can't play our way.
The tackle count 71 to 35. What goes through your mind when you hear stats like that?
Well, it just shows our level of competitiveness. It also it shows their ability to and their contest method, and they were able to stand up in our tackles. They were really clean. They were able to get, once we tried to tackle them, they were able to get 30, 40-metre surges to a forward playing in front. And we bring pressure on ourselves by not doing the basics well enough. There's times when we're out and we miss easy handballs or miss easy kicks, and don't tidy up our mistakes in D50 and cost ourselves easy goals. Like, the tackle number is disappointing, but there's a lot that goes into that, and they showed us up in all those areas today.
So from a contest point of view, they kicked 11 goals from stoppages, which is a huge number, obviously. Why couldn't you control that side of it? Was it purely that they were just too big and too strong in that area?
Well, there's a number of factors. I didn't think we hit the ball when we hit to the right areas at times, which gave them momentum. At times, we'd feed back handball, and that guy would get pressured and then would succumb to the pressure, and there would be turnover. At times, when we put good pressure on them around stoppage, they were able to get a 30-metre kick forward where their forwards were just playing in front. They were really predictable to each other. We're on the back foot. And they made us pay.
Did you think composure was an issue in that first quarter? You had the 2 50-metre penalties, and then you had Nathan Wilson getting bumped in the goal square. Did you think that the blokes were just a little bit flustered?
I thought we felt their pressure early on. The 50-metre penalties, were a sign of that. Nathan Wilson getting smothered. I thought, another goal, Griff Logue had an easy ground ball that he fumbled. And all of a sudden you're behind on the scoreboard and chasing the game, and that adds more pressure to it because it adds scoreboard pressure, and you're up against a good side who's bringing real physical heat, and then you've got the perceived pressure as well. We just didn't handle that, and we haven't handled it well enough. And like I said to the players after the game, we need to make sure that we learn these lessons. They're hard lessons at the moment, but we need to improve from games like this, and we need to set our standards really a lot higher so we can start mixing it with teams that play at a top 4 level, and they played at a top 4 level today.
Derby 53, the next stop for Fremantle. Yet to have it confirmed, but we suspect Saturday night. They'll need to be better than that. Mind you, West Coast play tomorrow up against Melbourne. Hope you can join us on Grandstand AFL for that. On behalf of the team, wrapping things up from Perth Stadium, Brisbane 64-point winners over Fremantle. The Lions to 5th. The Dockers dropped to